Oh my God. Y'all, they done found this boy. I shouldn't say this boy. They have found Karmelo Anthony guilty of murder, y'all. Oh my gosh. This is not what my video was about. Actually, my video was about something totally different. Oh boy, y'all. Give me a second.
The crowd outside has just heard that verdict, and we are seeing was probably about the crowd outside has just heard that verdict, and we are seeing just a tremendous emotional reaction from some of the people in the crowd. The people started getting the alerts on their phone. You could see everybody starting to look down at their phone and getting those updates and finding out that Karmelo Anthony has been found guilty of murder. We just got word from inside the courtroom that they are proceeding to the punishment phase. And Jobin Puneker, our reporter in the courtroom, says that he saw Karmelo Anthony's mother audibly sobbing in the courtroom after that verdict was read. Again, you can see some of the reaction here from outside the courtroom. We're going to keep an eye on that. But Rebecca, Tanya, I apologize for interrupting you, but I would like to bring you in for just to touch on the emotional toll that this has taken on two families.
Well, Chris, there have been people here that I have seen every single day since I got here during jury selection. Many of them fought to get into that courtroom so they could see some of the proceedings. And there were people on both sides trying to get those seats, all very emotional, but some people have been here every single day. And so many people on both sides, Austin Metcalf's family and friends wanted justice for him. They felt like he died in a senseless, very horrific way. Then there are the people on Karmelo's Anthony camp who felt like the system was rigged against him because there were 3 African-American jurors that identified themselves as African-American jurors that were kicked off this jury, that were not picked. I wouldn't say kicked off, but they were not selected as jurors or they did not make the cut. And so people felt that the justice system was just not going to work for Karmelo Anthony. So I suspect that that's some of the emotion that you are seeing here right now in the display.
And Rebecca, you were in that courtroom, regardless of. Talk to a little bit about the racial makeup of this jury.
Yeah, I heard a lot of people saying that there were no minorities or that it was an all-white jury. That was not the case. There were Asian Americans. There were a lot of women. There was also a Muslim woman, a woman that also, I would say probably 4 Asian Americans. And we don't know because the jury questionnaires are not public record. That was to protect the jury. The judge spent a lot of time trying to protect this jury because there have been threats against people in this case on both sides, and the judge wanted to make sure that the jury was protected, and so a lot of their information was never made public. And we could hear the crowd getting louder and louder, and I'm not sure what this is about, but there have been people out here calling for peace, to tell everybody to please stay calm. It is a very, very emotional time for people out here.
It is, and I think that, we can see behind us that this crowd is pretty heated. And I was, Rebecca, on the other side of me, I watched as a number of additional Collin County Sheriff's deputies walked up. You obviously can seeing some people being pushed out. I don't know exactly what's going on, but now the crowd is starting to
baby that is
come a little bit towards us.
And again, you've had people out here that are not here because, Chris, they truly wanted to see any of this stuff. They never made it into the courtroom. They never even tried to get into the courtroom. They were here for their own political purposes or whatever. And that is what you're seeing. And now you're seeing people screaming at one another. And the sheriff's department, I will say, the Collin County Sheriff's Department has done a very good job of dispersing these crowds. There were a couple of times when they were having clashes, and they immediately got in the middle of them and stopped some of the confrontations. They're going to let them have their free speech. They're going to let them, do what they are going to do, but they are not going to let people get violent. And they.
Okay, y'all. This was not what my video was about. So as I was preparing for the video, I said, let me just click into the news because I knew that we were waiting for a verdict. It's only been a few hours. So it took them a few hours to convict this kid of this is the worst day. Today, this is the worst day. I'm not shocked, but the reason that I wanted to do this video had nothing to do with the trial. Obviously, we knew that they were waiting on the verdict, and I figured that we would do a verdict watch later. But one of the reasons that I wanted to do this video is because I found some information on this judge, which I'm going to put on my Patreon. Once I get into it, I got all the documents. This judge is shady. He has a shady past. He's been reprimanded for using the court for his personal benefit. Okay, so this judge is a shady MFer. Now, as I was preparing for my video, we have been saying for the longest that this boy was not treated fairly. Now, it was just the way that I had felt. Now, I feel like he is going to be able to overturn this. But do y'all see how fast they're moving? They're going to sentence him today. Normally, you come back for sentencing. What in the hell are they doing? Not only this, everything that's done happened so far, but now they are releasing proof that this judge is friends with Metcalf, the Metcalf's boy's father. And here's a picture that has been released. Let me get the picture. Here it is right here. I'm going to show you guys.
Service Sam. He is released.
All right. So pay attention to you guys can see it. They have released a picture. Okay. This judge is very crooked and shady. Again, this was not what my video was about. As I was preparing for the video, I was seeing, different things come across my timeline. They have released pictures of the judge, the twins, father, and the district attorney. These individuals already knew each other. That is what is being alleged. But let's get into this video.
Released this photo, which is allegedly.
Okay, you see the photo? This is supposed to be the judge, the Metcalf father, and the district attorney. How are they in a picture together, guys? This is not, you cannot. This is too much.
A photo of the father of the victim in the Karmelo Anthony case, the district attorney, and the judge. If true, this is a huge issue. Previously, I served as an associate judge, and later on, I had cases in front of other judges.
So allegedly, what they're saying is this picture is supposed to be a picture of the judge, the district attorney, and what looks to be the Metcalf boy's father. Tell me, why would they be in a picture together? This is a huge conflict of interest. But if you guys recall, information was coming out to say that they knew each other. Every single thing about this case has been anonymous. Everything. Originally, I thought, okay, they want to keep it anonymous just to, kind of make sure that everybody is given a fair shot in court. But it appears that they wanted to keep it anonymous because there's a lot of other stuff that is, starting to come out.
When I would have those cases in front of those other judges, every last one of those judges, sua sponte, meaning without motion, recuse themselves out of fairness. That's just what you do. Now, mind you, regarding those other judges, I had never been to their homes. It was nothing personal. We just knew each other socially. Some of us had run for judge together on the same ticket, but I didn't know their personal business. We had never even gone out to eat. This appears to be an intimate gathering of some sort. At a minimum, legally, you're supposed to disclose that to the other side and give the other side the option to file a motion for recusal, or the judge is supposed to sua sponte, meaning on their own motion, meaning even if no one asks, recuse themselves. So this is a huge issue. I anticipate this is likely going to be the cause of a set of motions if it was not previously disclosed to defense counsel. And I can't see defense counsel being okay with that relationship, even if it were previously disclosed, unless it was a situation where they felt like Judge Roach was the lesser of other evils, meaning the other judges that potentially this case could have been reassigned to were more trifling than Judge Roach. Head to my YouTube channel.
So somebody put in the chat that he would more than likely stay in prison while the appeal is going on. That is necessarily how it happens. But I don't know what the law states about this particular situation. If these people, in fact, were acquaintances, there's no reason that the judge should have oversaw this trial. But do y'all see everything that's surrounding this trial? So he's convicted today, and they said they're going to immediately go into sentencing. So what the judge is saying is he wants to finish this, send this boy to prison, and move on to the next case. This is, I can't even like, we just had a Asian to chase somebody out of his store. The boy didn't even steal anything. Chased him out of his store and shot him in the back. I can't believe they well, I'm not going to say I can't believe it. I can believe it. And what you guys need to understand, you know, I was in this YouTuber's chat the other day, and what I constantly see with Black people, they're always, well, I won't say all, but some is always looking for acceptance of white people. And this particular YouTuber was telling the people in the chat, because it was other people in the chat, and she says, you guys are welcome here. And you know, the first thing came to my mind, why is it that Black people are always trying to fit into spaces that they don't belong? If a person wants to be in your chat and they feel comfortable into your chat, you don't have to tell them you are welcome here. Do you understand what I'm saying? I just don't understand, why is it that Black people are always looking for acceptance from people that really don't like y'all for real? This was an entire setup. This was an entire setup on the fact alone that the father sat in court leading a witness, but yet they said the judge was putting people out for whispering. How is that even possible? The judge putting people out for whispering, but allow this.
All right, we have Free Karmelo. Welcome, Free Karmelo. What you got?
I just thought it was really interesting when you said that. It was very obvious to everyone in the courtroom that Jeff Metcalf allegedly was helping one of the witnesses answer the questions. 'Cause in your comment section of that video, everyone was saying like, oh, who is this woman? She's just biased, saying anything. And then Court TV, or Law and Crime, YouTube page with like 1 million something followers, their reporter said the exact same thing, that the witness was looking over at Jeff Metcalf and he was visibly shaking his head in the courtroom, So if everyone else was able to see that and Judge Roach was kicking people out for whispering, how is he not seeing a witness look over at someone in the gallery and giving answers to like, how is he not seeing that? That just doesn't make sense to me.
That's a good question. So let me tell you what happened with that. And thank you for asking.
Now, listen to, I mean, I like Queen Sheba, but listen to how she gives, what is the word I'm looking for? How she makes an excuse for the judge looking over. I don't understand why we do this. This judge's job is to make sure he's making sure everything in the court is functioning correctly. The fact that he so happened to not be looking, which doesn't make a lot of sense, because for 20 to 30 minutes, the judge didn't see or wasn't able to see. I don't buy it. I didn't buy it in the first place. And I really don't buy it now that now a picture is coming out, which is confirming that they allegedly were friendly.
So when that was happening, Judge Roach was positioned this way. If you can see me.
So what Queen Sheba is saying, okay, well, he didn't see it. No, ma'am, that is not an excuse. He needs to see it because it is in his courtroom. So think about, she's giving him a pass because he didn't see it. But then listen to what she's saying in terms of how long this happened. She's going to go into saying that this happened for approximately 20 to 30 minutes. Now, are you telling me for 20 to 30 minutes, the judge did not know what was going on in his courtroom?
Mr. Metcalf is back there. So Judge Roach would have had to have turned this way to see what was going on. I was able to see it because I was this way and I'm watching the witness, and I could see every time he was asked a question, he would look like, if you, right, I'm looking into the screen or asking me a question and I go this way every time I answer. And I'm like, what is he looking at? I mean, it went on for at least 20 to 30 minutes. So finally, I attempted to position my body because I thought maybe he knew somebody in the jury. But it was Mr. Metcalf he was looking at. And when I leaned back to take a better look at the jury, I could see Mr. Metcalf telling him when to say yes and when to say no. And at the exact time when a defense said, would you describe Hunter Metcalf as a big boy, a bigger boy, Mr. Metcalf said, and the witness said no. At that point I said, he's leading the witness, and I forgot I wasn't supposed to talk in court, and everybody's like, shh, shh. And I just dropped my pen and paper, and I was like, I don't want to take notes anymore. But
so that was allowed in open court. So please understand, if she saw it, other people saw it too.
And we won't say their name because he's 17 years old. He is a student at Memorial High School, which is Austin Metcalf's high school. And in just kind of reading the notes of the day here, when it came to the defense questioning him, and he was a defense witness. So this is someone who knew Austin Metcalf, was on the team, and the defense is calling him. I felt like a little.
Now keep in mind, because sometimes people will try to say, oh, she's just saying that, but Queen Sheba was not the only one that noticed this. So we just happened to get this reporter who noticed the same thing. So if two people that don't know each other notice it, other people noticed it, but it's the bias thing. Oh, he did this to a white kid. Send him to jail for the rest of his life.
A bit of a different perspective of what happened compared to some of the other students from this high school who have taken the stand.
Yeah, Chris, and it was interesting before he took the stand, or when he took the stand, the defense attorney said that they had not talked before. It was like, sir, we haven't talked before. But just
get into this part. Now, this was a little nugget that he dropped. The defense, Karmelo's defense, pretty much admitted that he hadn't even talked to the witness. How are you defending somebody under a murder trial and you haven't even talked to the witnesses? What is that?
2 minutes right now in the hallway. I thought that was interesting because if you're trying to, gain an edge or gain a leg up, why would you have a witness that you haven't done, witness preparation with? But anyway, they start talking. They're walking through the events. It takes them about 20 to 30 minutes to walk through the lead ups to everything and what this kid saw. And we heard this for the first time today. He said, Karmelo, the whole thing with the hand in the bag and touch me and see what happens. He said that Austin Metcalf tapped Karmelo on the shoulder, like as an annoyance, like, oh yeah, touch me and see what happens. And then he says something that we haven't heard yet. He said, Karmelo said, okay, well, hit me and see what happens, or punch me and see what happens, which we haven't heard that testimony from any student so far. So I'm just wondering, why it was just now said here. We've had over 10 of these student witnesses, and it was just said now during this witness. And then, as he was testifying, he was kind of disagreeing with some of the things that the defense attorney was throwing out. Obviously asking questions to kind of fit the narrative of the defense here with the self-defense claim. And one of their, narratives that they're throwing out is that, these Metcalf boys were some big boys, 6'1", 6'2", linebackers, over 200 pounds. And they started talking about the size comparison thing again, starting to go down that rabbit hole. And they were talking about Austin. Austin was 6'1", 213, according to the medical examiner. And his brother Hunter, the defense is like, well, Hunter was similar in size, trying to make them out to be, the big bullies and all. That's the narrative they're going down. And as the defense attorney is asking this, I can see Jeff Metcalf, the father, just shaking his head like these boys are not the same size. And the young man on the stand said, I wouldn't say that. And he actually said that.
Again, this is another reporter. He saw the father in open court leading the witness. What? I even emailed this to the attorney. His attorney, I feel like wanted to continue to be in the good old boys club and decided to just go ahead and let this boy go to prison, because I sent him the videos with the timestamps. All he needed to do was pull the video from court, and this would have been a mistrial. His own attorney was not even on his side. Let's just call it what it is. And I don't believe it was a situation where he wasn't on his side because he felt that he was guilty. Sometimes when you're dealing with different races of people, like for instance, white people, they feel like if a white person, unalives a black person, okay, there was a reason for doing it. There is never a reason, so they think, for a black person to do that to one of them. So with that stated, I feel like that attorney felt like, listen, I got to, be in this good old boys club. So I feel like he didn't even care about this particular trial. And he just pretty much let it go. Because if you have not even talked to witnesses, you haven't talked to the witnesses, that's crazy. Now, remember, guys, people were coming out saying that the video was edited. I believe the video was edited because one thing I want you all to understand is, because I had to kind of remember this stuff myself. Whenever you are going to trial, the attorneys as well as the court decide on what evidence can come forward and what evidence cannot come forward. Everybody that saw that video, they said the same thing, that boy was jumped. Now, I know people were saying, well, if he was jumped, why didn't his attorney say something? What I need you guys to understand is when you're going to trial, they agree on what evidence is going to come in and what evidence will not come in. I want y'all to understand the judge enforced a gag order. The gag order was to protect them white boys. It wasn't to protect Karmelo Anthony. Karmelo Anthony did not have a record. He was a great student. People were saying that those boys had been kicked out of school. They said that they had a history of fighting with their father. And what else? Oh, they were also saying that those boys allegedly had a history of fighting at school. What I was told is this information, the judge told them, well, I shouldn't say them, would not allow the defense to basically present that information. So none of this information could be provided to the jury. What do you think the jury would have decided had they would have been provided information that those boys had been suspended and they had a history of fighting, they were violent, they fought their father? Think about this, y'all. The father never testified. The mother never testified. The brother never testified. Why do you think they never testified? Why do you think? Because if they would have testified, then they would have asked them these specific questions. But the gag orders kept a lot of information out of this trial. And guess who signed off on it? The judge. The judge signed off on these things. Now, as it relates to that video, and I've kind of been talking about that, and I know you guys have been seeing it all over the internet. People that have saw the video, they say that Karmelo was jumped. Now, people say, well, why wasn't it shown in court? Well, here's the deal. The jury only know what you tell them or what you present to them. Why did they present a video that you can't see? But then if you were to go and see it through the school district, it's very clear. What is it that they were trying for the jury to not see is the question, because individuals that saw the video, this is what they stated.
Well, was it clear enough, or was it fuzzy, or what?
No, it was clear. It was okay. It's clear enough where you can see the actual individual raindrops come by the cameras.
Okay.
That's how clear it is. You actually see them walking up. You see that Karmelo is already up under there. He's under there minding his business.
Dodging the rain, or?
Yeah, it was still raining. You know, right. I'm familiar with him. So that day we were under a tornado watch. Right. We were under thunderstorm warning, and we know we had already had some light rain then, and it started raining again. Then it was over with for the day. Okay. So that's kind of what happened on that day. But they were at a rain delay already, and so during that time when that happened, the twins, their two buddies, and a few other kids, because there was a few kids involved with them. They were all coming from the direction of the middle school, coming walking back up. Right. On the video, you can see those four that actually was involved, and maybe about 3 or 4 others that was with them, skipping up, trying to catch up behind. One veered off probably toward his way to go to the coach and kind of distract him a little bit. And then the other 4 came walking together. One went in front of them, went past. Right. The other 4 went and they surrounded Karmelo. You know, if you're Karmelo,
and they showed that on that video.
It's on the video.
Okay, come on.
You can see them walk.
I'm gonna say little stuff.
I'll put it this way.
Okay.
They actually tell you when you're watching the video, pay attention to this corner right here, because if you look anywhere else, you might miss different things. Okay. So watch those 4. Here, there are 4 right there coming up. Right. That's exactly what they say. Okay. And so you have no way to be confused that it's those 4. Okay. So they come up, they surround them, and it's immediate moment of not even a few seconds of pause, then that's when they jump. And so
they actually did jump him.
Yeah, it wasn't just no touch, it wasn't just all that moment. Yeah, it was a push, it was all kind of things. But Austin pushed, Hunter hit, and then everybody swung. But at the same time,
so it's more than the twins that got some licks on.
All 4.
So it showed that in the video.
Yes, in the video. So again, you have Hunter and Austin standing in the middle. Okay. And you have the light bright boy here, and you have the darker boy here. Okay. I think that's what I remember. So I have to go back and think about it. But that's where they were. One was going up and down while they were talking and kind of pushing or whatever he was doing. Austin and Hunter was in front. So where they're talking about grabbing bags, Hunter actually said that I grabbed his bag. Right. And then later on, he said that Austin threw the bag. Okay. Jeff also said the same thing. And so that's them both antagonizing. And we know under Texas law, I just have the fear that you're about to do something to me and you can get up out of here. Yeah, so you ain't have to touch me. But at that point, he still stood there and stopped there, and whatever they say alleged was.
So let me just bring some context to what you guys are seeing, because everybody don't see the same thing. This guy, I think it's Dwayne. I don't remember. Dwayne is his name, if I'm correct. He actually saw the video at the school. Let me break that down for you, because some people be like, how did he see the video? You can submit an open records request to your school, to the courthouse, to any public building or facility and ask to see things. And this is what he did. He saw the video. He states that the video was clear. When they show this video in court, the video was not clear. I want you guys to understand this too. And I don't know if this part is true because, I mean, I don't know. I have never talked to Karmelo Anthony's family, but what was stated is that Karmelo's family's private investigator saw the video. So the reason why I'm bringing that up, because if Karmelo Anthony's family's private investigator saw the video, then you have to know that the attorney saw the video. So my question is, there should have been so many things that this attorney could have did. If the judge said no, he could have filed motions and took it to a higher court. I don't want to hear that bullshit. There is no reason that half of a video should have been shown to the jury. If we ain't gonna show the video, that's another thing. But only showing the portion that makes it look like Karmelo is a monster, or not showing the full video, because if we show the full video, then it shows what really happened. I believe, like this man says, that boy was jumped. Some of you guys may say, well, why didn't they say that in court? Well, think about it. If they cannot show the full video and then they come in court and say he was jumped, but then it's nobody to corroborate that story, I can understand why they wouldn't bring it up. But I believe this attorney, now that we know that he's been found guilty, wronged him. For the simple fact, like I said, I'm not an attorney, but I do understand that if you feel like this judge is not being fair, he could have appealed this to a higher court. I don't feel like this judge, now seeing how this full thing has played out, and then knowing now that they're saying that, you know, there's pictures of the judge, the district attorney, and this father, no, they need to overturn this. They need to overturn this and let him out. And then if they're going to retry him, they need to move it out of the state of Texas. But just so you guys know, this is just a regular person that saw the video.
Said you don't know that until they get to it here. But once they did that, they started hitting him. Karmelo actually was able to back out and try to get away. So he was actually.
Now, remember when they kept saying he got away? That corroborates what this man is saying. He said Karmelo was able to back up, which says that he was able to see the video, guys, because they kept saying, oh, Karmelo got away. And when we looked around, he had already ran off. And then they tell y'all, oh, he tried to run off. Well, we know the boy didn't try to run off because he would have just ran up out of there. He never ran off. He was getting away from those boys that attacked him.
Trying to get away the first time. Austin grabbed him, and you can see his hoodie coming out like this, and they brought him back in. Okay. And when they brought him back in, that's when you can see Austin put him in a headlock. You can see that all the rest of them are still hitting. That must be when the poke happened, because he was able to get out again. He backed out. He looked to the right. That's where the other little kid was filming, because they got some cell phone footage too. But that's where he was filming. He looked directly at him in his camera, and then he went this way to the left. He went down. He fell. And that's when they realized he was gone. They were still punching.
Do y'all see? This man wasn't there, but he was able to see the video clear. He said they were still punching, not even realizing this kid had took off. If you remember in the trial, they said that he was gone. Do y'all see how these stories are starting to add up? Another thing why the brother didn't testify, because the brother admitted in interviews that he was involved too. So guess what? If he would have came to testify, y'all, this was some bullshit. There is no way that this boy should have been found guilty. His attorney worked against him, got them people money, and pretty much turned his back.
And when he fell, that's when they all turned around. They started chasing him. Austin tried to go chase him too, but he grabbed his chest. I guess he realized that something happened to him. And that's when he went down a little bit and he fell down. But all three of them were chasing him. But Karmelo was so fast, he got away and went around to the coach. And so you can see them on the video pointing toward Karmelo and the coach. And I can imagine, because Karmelo out of the camera on that moment, that he was telling the coach what happened. And then that's when Hunter said he whipped his head around. That's a true statement. He just wasn't sitting with you. He whipped his head around. You see him on the video. And that's when he walked over to where Austin was, but he never touched him. So all that stuff about him rendering aid and holding his heart, he never did that, because the coach grabbed him and he was holding him. So at the end of the day, that's kind of where the moment went. But they did assault him, and we'll just play the game. even if it was just a push, you still assaulted him because it was unwanted. By your own definition in your word of him saying that leave me alone and I'm not going, you assaulted him, period. But they did beat him. And if you look at the, not the photo that Fox 4 put out, because that was one that they actually edited. I have the emails to prove it. But the actual Collin County one, you can see the whelps and stuff on his eye. You can see the bridge of his nose is swollen. You can see the whelps under his neck. And so that's the reason why they edited the one from Fox and kind of airbrushed it. And you can see they put the locks of his hair that got taken out as well.
So again, this guy, he just saw the video. He saw the video. Now, I want to get into one other video because, again, these people don't know each other, but interestingly, they all are saying a similar thing. Now, it was another lady who called into a show that I was on, and she basically said she saw the video as well. Her and this guy, I don't believe they know each other, but listen to what she says.
So once they did,
so how many people do you think was going
in that group?
Yeah, in the group, moving briskly towards Karmelo.
It was honestly more than the 4 that approached. I'm going to say maybe about 6.
6
I want to say that, right. One of the boys broke off well before he made it to the canopy.
Yeah.
And then I think one kind of walked past the canopy, like maybe went on past and went up. But he did not. It was only 4 out of that group that did walk up. And when I say walk up, I'm really going to say run up. You know, I'm a little ghetto. So I'm going to say they ran up on him. Like if you've ever been in a situation and you've been ambushed.
So again, this is another person who saw the video. She saw the video as well. You're going to listen to what she's going to say. As this other guy said, it was clear. In court, it was grainy. Y'all, they did something to the video so that you can't see it. And it seemed like they edited, which means they took out the part that actually showed what happened. What do you think this jury's decision would have been had they would have seen this kid be attacked? I do not believe that this kid, because somebody told him to move, just brought out something and I don't believe that. I do not believe that. Do y'all see that they convicted this kid after he even the coach admitted that it was like he didn't even try to do it. Like they could have did manslaughter. They convicted him of the worst, the highest thing that they could convict him of, even knowing that they had. Why did they convict him of that? Do y'all know what murder is? That's pretty like he planned it. So are you saying now, jury, that he went there with, so basically the jury said that he went there with the intention, y'all.
It was kind of like they ran up on him not to give him enough time really to see them coming. So they kind of ran up the steps and they basically got right in front of him. The one that was Austin.
So before you keep going, when you said they ran up, you could tell the way they was approaching.
Somebody said, and you guys, if you want me to read your comments, please super chat, because I'm just going to pick some various ones to read. Somebody said if they saw the video, they would have sold it to TMZ and released it to us. All right. So I'm going to say this one time again and one time only. The video was not something that they had in their possession. So they wouldn't have sold it to TMZ and they would not have shared it with you, because the video was something they had to go in and watch. They could not take their phone, nothing like that. So no, they couldn't have sold anything. Sometimes y'all got to like listen and stop making up your own narrative, because what you're saying is totally false. No, they saw the video. And it wasn't a video that was sent to them, because as we see, it's an open case. So by it being an open case, they can't send you a video to a case that's going on. So wrong. Now, if y'all want me to reach out, questions, you got the super chat, because I can't read all those questions. But this lady saw the video as well.
These people, this group of people, up to 6 people, 4 to 6 people. The way they approached Karmelo, it was almost in an aggressive way or urgent way.
Oh, it was. Most definitely it was.
Okay.
And like I say, it was only 4 that did run up to him. Like I said, 1 broke off before, and I think 1 went on past and maybe went up in the bleachers. But as far as going and surrounding Karmelo, it was 4. And they kind of like ran up the bleachers and was instantly at him. And you could also notice that the one that was Austin, as he was going up under the canopy and as he was getting closer to Karmelo, he knelt down. So he was like in Karmelo's face.
Again, these are people who don't know each other. Like, she's saying pretty much the same thing. Obviously, her story is not coerced like those kids were with using the same little buzzwords, but she's saying that what she saw, it looked like he was jumped. Now, what the hell happened to that video? Because the people in court saw a video that they really couldn't make out, that they needed to point out and tell them what was going on. This entire case, they set this kid up. He never had a fair trial, starting with the judge who was basically saying that he did not want the media in the courtroom. Now we understand why he didn't want the media in the courtroom, okay? When you got, the father of the deceased in there shaking his head, telling the people what to say, I wouldn't have wanted the media in there either, okay? No media. Then all of these gag orders, get into this, guys. In a normal trial where they have different motions, even those are gag ordered. Y'all don't even know anything about the series of different motions that was filed in front of the court because he kept them all confidential. This is not normal. We didn't watch it because it was in federal court, but even with the Diddy trial, okay? Well, no, we can't really use the Diddy trial, but normally in state court, you can film. There has been instances where, if they're minors or even, some situations where people say, I don't want to be on camera. They didn't have to be filmed. Their names could have been, they would have turned the camera off. This judge did not want anything to be on camera because we're going to get into his shady past and what he was reprimanded for, but it all is going to that narrative. And then think about the media outlets that this man picked out. He handpicked specific media outlets, but now there's information and pictures allegedly that he is friends with the Metcalf boy's father. This is a lawsuit. They need to be sued. People need to lose their jobs. It's a lot. This is a lot. But this is a second lady that stated that she saw the video. Keep in mind, guys, because somebody had put in the chat, oh, that's a lie, because if she saw it, she would have sold it to TMZ. The video was something you had to go in and review. And I know because I already requested to see the video now. You go in, you see the video, you cannot take your phone. And you watch it and they gonna sit in there with you and watch it. So you cannot record anything. Listen, guys, there are things that you can get that you cannot record. If I go into a court hearing and let's say I want to record it, sometime the judge will say, no, you can't record it, but you can come in. Now I can go and take my glasses or something else and record it. I'm not going to jail. Do you think I'm going to go into court and record something after the judge done told me no? That's illegal. So if you were to find something, that you bought that they don't know and record it and you put it out, you going to prison. And in this case, because this is like a murder trial and you put that information out, you going down. So everybody is not out here trying to break the law just to get content. So the video is serious and it's definitely something that people can see. I know because now I've requested to see the video, okay? And being now that the case is over, obviously I don't live in Texas, I'm sure now that they'll release it, but we just have to see. But I just want to let you guys know this is somebody that saw the video. She's saying the same thing.
Like nose to nose. Like, he had his face like over Karmelo's face because by the time he noticed them, they were already over him. So it wasn't like he was just standing up on the row in front of him. They were basically in his foot space. So the same row as to where his feet would have been resting is where they were standing. And of course, Austin is a tall guy, so like I said, he kneeled down.
You're saying they were that close to him?
Oh, yes, sir, they were. And that's why I've always said they blocked and they hindered his movement. So it was kind of like this was planned. This was premeditated because, and it also seemed like organized crime, because how do you even know as being a teenager to go and basically block off his movement? Because that's.
Now, another thing, which again, she's saying the same, not the same thing, but it's similar to what was said. I believe that boy, because they say they restricted, like they, imagine you trying to get away from something and somebody is blocking you. So that's why I don't understand, like, this lawyer set them up too, because you had months to come up with a strategy. Listen, I ain't a lawyer, but if I'm fighting for my client, and that's any client, but especially a 17-year-old boy that I know what really happened, I'm going against the judge. If I got to file motions to the Supreme Court, let's do it. Let's do it. This attorney did nothing. He did nothing for all of these months. He knew he had a gag order. He knew certain things were not allowed, and he still did nothing. He even admitted that he hadn't even talked to witnesses. How are you not talking to the damn witnesses, you idiot? Do you know that I'm willing to bet they probably gave this man $300,000 to $400,000? I'm willing to bet they gave that man a large amount of money, because if you look him up, y'all want to know what they say about this attorney? Do y'all really want to know what they say about this attorney? Because when I tell you, you're not going to believe me. You're not going to believe me. They say this attorney is one of the best, and that's best attorneys in Texas. Can y'all believe that? Exactly. Let me show y'all that, because I said, let me show you all this, because you're not going to believe. I got to show y'all this, because when I saw this, I said, what the hell? And then it just made me realize this man did this on purpose. Let me show you guys, because you got to see this. Give me a second, y'all. What's his name? Let me look at it. I can't remember the man's name. Just give me a second. I can't remember. Okay, it is Mike Howard. Okay. What is Karmelo Anthony attorneys? I'm just going to say dismissal record. Y'all got to see this. He's supposed to be the best, one of the best attorneys. And I was like, this is some bullshit. All right, I'm bringing it up. I'm bringing it up. All right, that's not, let me, okay, let me see. What is, all right, guys, I'm trying to bring it up because I forgot what I used as a prompt before, but let me just bring it up again. All right, I can't find it, but it's, I don't remember where I found it at, but y'all can Google it. He is supposed to be one of the best. He was in a magazine, guys. I just can't remember because I was obviously working on something else, but this attorney is supposed to be one of the best. When I saw that he is listed as one of the best attorneys in the state of Dallas, I knew that he purposely sabotaged this case. Yes, that's his name, Mark Howard. Let me try something else, because I feel like I need to find it, but he definitely yeah, I think I got out of it. I think I found it, y'all. I found it. So this Mike Howard does not have, wait, it says as a criminal business, it says record is defined by securing over. So it says he has secured over 120 case dismissals since 2020, along with numerous not guilty verdicts. Okay. It says because of his track record in Dallas, Howard has been named amongst the best criminal defense attorneys in Dallas by D Magazine from 2016 through 2025. Also recognized as a Texas super lawyer. Do y'all believe that or not? I cannot believe it, but that is what they are saying about him. I believe that this man intentionally sabotaged this case. Think about it. You haven't talked to witnesses? What kind of idiot are you? There's no surprise. Well, there were surprises to us, but as the attorney of record for this case, he already knew about this, y'all. He knew about this. That attorney knew what he was up against. He took them folks' money, and this boy done got convicted of murder. Now, I feel like that it will get overturned, but the bad part about it is well, I'm not gonna say that because I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he can stay out. I don't know. I'm going to hope for the best, but this is messed up. But again, what we're watching is another person that said that they watched the video. The video that they're saying that Karmelo was actually jumped.
Exactly what
now,
they done.
when you say block off his movement, I remember what you told me on the phone, but I don't want people to think that I'm leading you to say.
No, he did not. Okay, somebody said if he's one of Texas' best. No, he didn't display shit. In fact, the reason why I brought that up is because I thought that he had a strategy and he was saving it because it said that he was one of the best attorneys. But now that I see what happened, I feel like he set this family up intentionally. This was all intentional. Now that I think about it, guys, attorneys, this was not a surprise to him. This was a surprise to us. Everything that happened in that court, he knew it was going to happen. He knew it was a gag order. He knew what evidence wasn't allowed. He did not even prepare because he didn't give a F. He got those people money and didn't care. I mean, people that were in the court stated that even the mother looked very sad when he rapped. Man, you got these folks saying that this boy intentionally took somebody's life. Why he didn't bring in not one expert? He didn't bring in not one expert. Not one expert, y'all. Not one.
What you told me. When you say they kind of blocked him out, what kind of shape you said they made around him? Do you remember?
So the boys were pretty much shoulder to shoulder. So Austin would have been directly in front of Karmelo. And what I assumed maybe, and I'll tell you why in a minute, why I feel like it was Hunter that would have been to Austin's left. Mm-hmm. And then from there to Austin's right was another boy and another gentleman. And then from there to the other side of him was another one. But I want to say the one to the 4-4 right, I feel like he was a little nervous because he was kind of pacing a little bit. You kind of seen him doing like a little pacing at first. Yeah. So you can tell at first it was verbal, but like I say, they were pretty much like me. I mean, I'm not.
I know somebody put in the chat, which this is how y'all know this is some bullshit, y'all. They took him into custody and the jury is preparing to sentence him now. Where do they do that at? What happened to the pre-sentence investigation? What happened to what? Listen, y'all better stop taking y'all kids to these all white places. Okay? They don't like you. They don't like your kids. You can take your kids to somewhere that's diverse. Stop taking your kids to these all white places. What are you doing? They took him into custody and the jury is preparing to sentence him now. I know. Where do they do that at?
I'm a fighter, so the moment you would have came and got in my face like that, it was a problem.
So I remember you said that it would almost seem like they made like a C shape. That's what you told me on the phone. Like a
and
C
they
shape.
did, and they did. You know, and then and even at another point, you could also see a young man walk behind him as he was sitting there. So basically, he was blocked all the way around. And then, and what made it even worse was that he couldn't even stand up. You know, and then I'm hearing, you know, reports are saying Austin didn't want to fight. Well, if you did, you could ask somebody something by not being in their face. So why would you and 3 others go and block him in a seat to where he can't even stand up? And then I'm hearing people say, well, he could have just ran. Well, hell, you got to be able to stand up to run.
To show y'all, let y'all hear that, because it kind of goes to the narrative that something else has happened here. Now, I'm going to try to stay on here a little bit longer because they are going to sentence him. And I just feel like they're going to throw the book at him. But again, we know you do have appellate rights. And I believe that it's going to be overturned with a different lawyer. Mike Howard need to go to hell. Oh, and I sent him a nasty email. Because I also sent him information with regards to what was happening in court. And he sat there and let that boy get sentenced, and he could have stepped right in. Mike Howard was working against Karmelo Anthony and his family. People, you cannot trust anybody. There is some people amongst us that think white is right. No, it ain't. White ain't right, and every white person don't like you. Just like every black person don't like you. You must do your due diligence. You don't just give nobody a handful of money and expect. No, I would have been following up with him every 2 weeks. I want to see what you have done. What are you working on? What are we doing? Don't ever put your life in nobody's hands. Nobody. And furthermore, I wouldn't have hired no one lawyer. I would have hired a few attorneys. A few. Because what you do is you need one attorney. You get you another one and another one, because what they do is they watch each other. I would have never trusted my life in that man's hands. For one, you know, when I looked at his picture, he looked at a little weird, okay? This man helped send that boy to prison. But again, we're hoping, well, I'm not hoping. I know that this will be overturned in terms of a jury. He just definitely has to get another attorney.
From a staff member who saw the video of the Karmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf altercation. He says, the video was very clear. You can even see the raindrops. You can see 4.
The video was very clear. You can see raindrops. But now when they get to court, they can barely see the video, y'all. What do y'all think happened?
4 boys walk up to Karmelo, who's under the tent minding his business. Now, there was 4 boys and a few others, he said. A couple of the others were distracting the coach while they jumped Karmelo. He said it was really in the rain delay. The twins and a few of their buddies, 4 of them and 3 other ones, one distracted the coach, and they surrounded Karmelo. A few seconds later, they jumped him. Austin pushed him. The twins were in the middle. They were all jumping Karmelo. Hunter said Karmelo threw his bag. That is not true. Hunter.
So somebody put in the chat, they're not sentencing him now. I don't really know what you're talking about. They will be sentencing him today. So the fact that they're not doing it this moment, you don't know, because there's no cameras in the courtroom, which is a huge problem. There was no reason for the judge to not allow cameras in the courtroom, because damn near every black reporter there said that they had been harassed. So saying that you did not allow the cameras in the courtroom because you wanted to keep it safe, it was a crock of bullshit, because a lot of the black folks said that they was harassed.
Hunter grabbed his bag, but it shows they threw his bag away. And under Texas law, you just have to fear for your life. They start hitting Karmelo. Karmelo tried to get away, but Austin pulls him in by the hoodie, he says, and they pulled him back under the tent. Austin.
So keep in mind, guys, they're sentencing him now. We won't see it till like 30 minutes later because there's no cameras in the courtroom. So unfortunately, there's nothing for us to watch, because what is going to happen is he's going to be sentenced. They're going to come out and then they're going to tell us. So again, the judge would not allow the cameras in the courtroom. So we actually have to wait until they show it because there's no cameras in the courtroom.
And then put him in a headlock. Karmelo got away, and then you see Austin grab his chest. But all the stuff about Hunter rendering aid, holding the blood in, was a lie, because he says the coach grabbed him away and pulled him out of the scene. Now, also on Fox 4, the staff member was saying they edited the photos of Karmelo to make it look like he had no injuries. But in the original photos, you could see his injuries. Karmelo had welts on his face, on his neck, and you could see locks of hair missing. I will keep you updated on this highly contested trial. They're saying they played the 911 footage in court today, and they were saying that they don't know which way this one will go.
Well, I'm not sure what he lied about. I'm sure you lied before. But the information that I'm showing, there was proof. So I don't know what he lied about. I'm sure we all lied. I'm sure you lied too. Karen, I'm sure, Karen, that you have not spent your whole life without lying. So let's not crucify somebody because they lied before, honey girl, because you know you lied too now. I don't know what he lied about, but what he's saying here is true because other people are saying it. I don't know what that man lied about. I don't know. Now, this is what I want to get into quickly because we are still awaiting to find out what's going to happen. Y'all see this document right here. I'm going to leave it on the screen because I really want you all to screenshot it and send it to wherever. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up my notes here and I'm going to read it because I took notes. So this is page 1. What you guys see is this judge was reprimanded. He was reprimanded because he is a liar. He used his position to financially benefit himself. So if you guys want to go ahead, we're going to get into who this judge really is. So give me a second. So this is, it says a special court of review has considered the pleadings, the evidence, and the arguments of counsel and finds that the Honorable John Roach Jr. willfully violated canons 2B and 4D1 of the Code of Judicial Conduct and Article V, Section 1. I'm going to skip that. So what he did is he used, wait a minute. I'm sorry, it says alleged in charges 1 and 2 by lending the prestige of his office. And so basically he exploited his position is what they're saying. So he used what they what they said in this particular document. I'm going to just go to page 2. Y'all want to take a picture of it. What they're saying is he used his position for monetary gain is what they're saying. Okay. So I'm going to read some of it because they said that he used his position to get people to buy a book from him. But what he did, they're saying he utilized the court for his monetary gain. So he wrote a book, right? Now, the book that he wrote had something to do with divorce. So they said he exploited his position to further his private interests between him and his wife. Now, what they said he did, well, I just told y'all what he did. So the charges allege that he engaged in activities involving him in frequent transactions with persons likely to come before his court. So basically, he used the court for his own personal gain. The court finds that Honorable John Roach Jr. So ultimately, they found him. It's something called public admission. I'm not really familiar with that, but I had to look it up. And I'm going to tell y'all what that means because I was like, what do that even mean? So give me a second. It's pretty much admonitions. Okay, that's how it's pronounced. So when I looked that word up, child, just give me a second. Because I was like, what do that even mean? So give me a second. All right, give me a second. Because I lost my little train of thought. Let me go back to my notes here. So they found him. Just give me a second. They found him. So basically, they issued him a formal published reprimand. So instead of saying, okay, we're going to find you guilty, we're going to publicly reprimand you. Now, a special court of review finds that, that he engaged in activities involving frequent transactions with people that came before his court. Okay, so basically, using the court is what they were saying. Let's see here. Him and his wife. The case addresses Judge John Roach Jr. activities in connection with a law-related book discussing divorce litigation, which he co-wrote and published with his attorney wife. Now, it looks like they offer some kind of referral service run by his wife to connect potential clients with attorneys who focus on divorce-related matters. And they had a website. The referral service that offered the book, and also a referral service that offered the book for sale. But basically what they were saying is he used the court to profit. It's pretty much what they were saying. They saying that the man used his position for gain to make money, and that, and also he received tons of complaints. So this was something that they learned because people had started complaining about this damn judge. What are y'all saying in the chat? So people had started complaining about this judge, and I have the document on the screen if you guys want to take pictures, but I'm actually reading from my notes over here. So people had complained because he was using the court, y'all, to sell books, okay? Sell books and basically use the court as a referral service for this bullshit book that he was selling. Now, get into this because I'm reading my notes. It says the State Commission on Judicial Conduct received complaints in June 2016 regarding these activities and notified Judge Roach in May 2017. It subsequently convened an informal hearing and determined in February 2018 that Judge Roach should receive a public warning. Now, he requested a review of the commission's determination, and the Supreme Court of Texas selected a court to review. Now, I'm just going through the pages, y'all, but I'm actually reading from my own little notes. I'm just reading what it says. It says the commission contends in charges 1 and 2 that Judge Roach's activities in connection with the book, the referral service, and the website violated canons 2B and 4D, section 1 of the Texas Code of Judicial Conduct. So basically, the judge is full of shit. Okay, he's out for himself. He used the court to sell books, and then basically was telling people, don't use the court. Pretty much, you need to buy this book. So doing just a lot of unethical shit is what this guy was doing. This is what they alleged he did in this complaint. Obviously, you know, it was resolved, but it just goes to show that this dude is a weirdo. Like he, okay, thank you. She said public reprimand is what it means. Yes, thank you. Public reprimand. But it just goes to show who this guy is. Like, what kind of judge uses the court to sell something that he's selling? Don't that kind of remind y'all of Donald Trump? Like, who does that? But he was, people complained about him. So he was reprimanded because, you know, he was doing shady ass shit. It's pretty much, I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. He was doing shady shit. I'm going to just go through all the pages here, but I think it's like, it's long. So I just read The first pages, as you kind of read it, it just kind of goes into, his book, and I ain't promoting his shit or whatever he's selling, but it just goes to show what type of person he is. How do you use the court to sell some shit that you're selling? Like, come on now. Even his own, co-workers and stuff, they complained on him because they like, what is he doing? So this dude is shady. He's shady. And, like I said before, I don't know how this is going to go over. Obviously, I'm not a lawyer, but what do y'all think about?
To Secret Service Sam, he has released this photo, which is allegedly a photo of the father of the victim in the Karmelo Anthony case, the district attorney, and
what do y'all think about this? How is this even possible? The judge is hanging out with the father, the Metcalf boy father, in the prosecuting attorney. What the hell is going on in Frisco, Collin, Texas, country bullshit? Like, what is this going on here? Like, how is this even happening?
The judge. If true, this is a huge issue. Previously, I served as an associate judge, and later on, I had cases in front of other judges. When I would have those cases in front of those other judges, every last one of those judges, sua sponte, meaning without motion, recused themselves out of fairness. That's just what you do. Now, mind you, regarding those other judges, I had never been to their homes. It was nothing personal. We just knew each other socially. Some of us had run for judge together on the same ticket. But I didn't know their personal business. We had never even gone out to eat. This appears to be an intimate gathering of some sort. At a minimum, legally, you're supposed to disclose that to the other side and give the other side the option to file a motion for recusal, or the judge is supposed to sua sponte, meaning on their own motion, meaning even if no one asks, recuse themselves. So this is a huge issue.
Ooh, y'all. Somebody said in the chat, that's not the judge. I don't know. The judge is crooked and he's shady. So we don't know. I mean, he's, getting in trouble, selling shit. He a judge. He's trying to sell websites and books. He's shady. Whatever. He's shady. I mean, this entire trial, I feel like, was kept off of the TV because they were doing sneaky shit. I mean, they've already stated, and I've showed y'all that video, that the father was in live court leading the witness. I mean, come on now. What are y'all saying in the chat? I'm going to check to see if anybody is reporting that. I mean, I think that would be kind of fast, but whoo, child, this is a lot. So we know that they are moving right into the sentencing phase, but like I said, we're not going to see that probably for a few hours because, I mean, this is a lot. Did his lawyer fight the jury? His lawyer didn't do shit. Like, let's just call it what it is. His lawyer didn't do shit. Like I told y'all, everything that we're seeing now, the lawyer already knew this. He knew whatever they agreed to, whatever evidence they were not going to let in, the lawyer knew this already. Why didn't he go to the Supreme Court? Why didn't he do nothing? He took those people money and sent a black son to prison. This is what they wanted for Karmelo in the beginning. And this attorney, I don't know. This is really bad, y'all. This is bad. And have you ever heard, in every case that I ever saw, and I've saw a lot, you never hear the judge say, oh, we're going to sentence him today. Y'all wanted to take that boy in custody so bad. Thank you, D, for the super chat. Queen Sheba said the defense didn't do a good job. Queen Sheba wasn't the only one that said that. Almost everyone said that. Hardly any objections. Everybody said that. Hardly any objections. He should have took the stand to speak for himself. Shaking my head, I'm heartbroken. Now, that we know he was convicted, I mean, taking a stand. I just feel like nothing was really accomplished here. Like, I don't know, but I mean, I kind of feel like the parents didn't have any, because generally a person, you hire an attorney, you assume, but because I have experience with attorneys, I don't assume shit. If I give you my money, we gonna have a follow-up. I'm not giving you my money and then 7 months down the line, you're gonna tell me, oh, I didn't do this. Oh, hell to the no. I'm gonna give you my money and we gonna have a follow-up call every week. You're not finna just get paid no whole bunch of damn money and think you finna go run off. And then 10 months from now, you finna give me the bad news. Absolutely not. I don't think the parents understood. Well, they understood how important this was, but he obviously, y'all, sold them on this notion that, he could get off. And it's sad. It's really sad. It's so sad. I mean, it's so sad. Those, the family went through a lot. They stated that somebody at that court was releasing their address. These people had to move several times. I don't know if it was that time that the mother stopped working or she was working, wasn't working before then because she was a stay-at-home mom. But these people, they done went through hell. They have went through a lot. Racism. And even the reporters that were there was treated like shit. Like, they was treating reporters like shit. Well, the thing with the civil rights, you want to hold off on that. Don't follow no lawsuits right now. You got to get the boy out of jail. Then pursue that. Don't go no lawsuits. Not right now. You got to get him out. Can't go into the civil law. He'll never get out. No. They need to get him out of jail. Yeah, I am. This is not the video that I was doing. Like, I was literally strictly doing my video to talk about this judge and his crooked ass hands, trying to sell books and tell people not to go to divorce court and buy his book. Like, who? What? Yeah, I wasn't expecting this, but be ready for another blow because I feel like he's going to sentence him to the max. But again, he's going to do an appeal and, I am hopeful that, he will get out. But it's definitely going to be some work. Somebody said, no, I'm saying that type attorney. He should. Ben Crump doesn't do I don't think he does these type of cases. He normally do I don't think Ben Crump does that. He does police stuff when, somebody is unalived and, he's suing them. I don't think Ben Crump is that type of lawyer. Maybe he can refer them to somebody. But yeah, I don't think Ben Crump is that type of attorney, guys. Is he a civil? I think, yeah, Ben Crump is more of a civil rights, but they need to get their son out. Yeah, they shouldn't be trying to sue anybody right now. First, they need to get their son out. Yeah, they need a criminal attorney because you don't want to try to sue that state and your son is in, you need to get him out first. So definitely, I wouldn't, don't. Somebody said Brian Steele. Yeah, Brian Steele. He a cold MFer. He definitely is cold. Thank you, Shonda TV 2815 for the $5. Remember the rule that if you commit a crime and if somebody dies, all members will be charged. All members will be charged with murder. He was charged with a crime and others were involved. I don't know. I don't know anything about that. I think I've heard something like that, but I don't think it applies to this case. I think I know what you're talking about, but I don't think it applies to this. But you can believe that if that was a law, they're not going to charge nobody but the black boy. Well, she said, you say you put the photo in ChatGPT and it says that it is a real photo. Yes, the group photo itself is a real authentic picture. However, its meaning and context are heavily disputed online. Well, it doesn't matter what is disputed online, because if the judge is in that close proximity with the father, it is what it looks like to the public. So if it looks like it's wrong, yeah. It doesn't matter if what it ain't, it's what it looked like. So yeah, it doesn't even matter. This is all the way wrong. But here's the deal, y'all. I've been saying since Sunday, I said something don't seem right with this trial. I was giving the defense a benefit of the doubt because I said, well, wait a minute. The state went that first week. I said, I'm sure, the defense is going to do their week and then it's going to like level the playing field. When they rested, I said, what the hell are they resting on? They didn't bring no expert witness. I mean, listen, I'm not an attorney. I didn't go to law school. This boy was 17 years old. When do the brain develop? Because I know I got one that just turned 24 and I feel like his brain just starting to work a little bit right. But a 17-year-old, like, where is the expert witnesses? Nobody. No, absolutely no. No expert witness, y'all. Karmelo didn't have to testify. Now, I know people always say why he didn't testify. When you get up on that stand, it's not about you telling your story, because the prosecution gonna trip the hell up out of you. So that is why people don't testify. Not because they're guilty. It's because you are dealing with a skilled attorney. They gonna trip you up every which way. So sometimes it's best for you not to take the stand. Maybe if he would have took the stand, it would have been better. I don't know. I mean, they came back with a verdict, and how long was that? A few hours? Yeah, I know so many people that live in Texas. Listen, I even thought about moving to Texas, honey, but when they said they had the Texas Rangers, I said, oh, they can kiss my ass. That sounds too much white for me. I can't deal with nothing called no Texas Rangers. That don't sound right. Yeah, this is so bad. But as I was saying, y'all keep your children out of those places where it is a high white count. I mean, if it ain't even, take your children out of there. I remember, let me just tell y'all a story. Before I moved to Georgia, we lived in a very white concentrated area. And my daughter, she's done graduated from college, she kept having these little bitty issues. And I'm like, this girl she just wasn't that type of kid. Come to find out, we moved at just the right time. When I tell you, I felt like the principal was just literally messing with her because she was Black. I said, we getting the F up out of here. So where we move now, it is literally 33, 33, 33. You got 33 Black, 33 white, and then you got Asians in other places or other people. Listen, do not put y'all children in those atmospheres like that. My son eventually told me he hated it at that school. Don't put y'all kids in that type of atmosphere. Sometimes we think being in certain communities is going to be best. Nah, it ain't. It ain't. It ain't. If Karmelo Anthony would have been in a different environment or a different school setting, he would have had a fair trial for sure. But in this case, it's white against Black. Y'all got to call it what it is. It's white against Black. And then you had the majority of white males on the jury trial, y'all. Whew. Yeah, this is a lot. Somebody said, why don't Roland Martin and his crew step in and help his family out? And He has all these defense attorneys coming on his show. This is crazy. We have all these Black resources. So why do Roland Martin have anything to do with this? Just because he has defense attorneys coming on his show, I mean, he can't make somebody go and defend somebody. And keep in mind, y'all, with this go round, they need an absolute appellate attorney. That's what they need. They don't need a regular attorney. They need a skilled appellate attorney. That is what they need, because now they're in the appeal phase. He done been found guilty. Now you have to get this case in front of the appellate court and make them accept it. So they ain't looking for no attorney. They need an appellate attorney, one who is skilled in getting an appeal is what they need. So they just can't get any old attorney, just so y'all know. So yeah, they just can't get any old attorney. Yes, it hit hard. I knew he was, but I hope they don't give him life. It's so sad. Yeah. So unfortunately, I feel like they're going to throw the book at him. But again, we're going to keep hope alive, because I do feel like with everything that happened, that he will get an appeal. And I'm going to keep looking for his attorney, and I'm going to send his attorney everything that I sent the last attorney. So I do feel like they're going to throw the book at him. Let's just be honest. Who does a sentencing? Like, generally, they kind of, as attorneys, they agree, okay, if he's found guilty, we're going to sentence, we'll do sentencing at this time. How you sentencing him in one day? Like, what if he got a cousin or his old teacher from middle school? Or you're not even giving this family an opportunity to call people to come and talk about him. Y'all, this is some straight up lynch type shit. Y'all have to be careful too about your kids' friends, because listen, I had to tell my son, you're Black, okay? So you can't hang out with a bunch of white boys, okay? Because when something jump off, they gonna say you did it, okay? Y'all have to take dominion over your kids. I don't give a damn even if they're grown. If they're in their 20s, they still kids. Because I had to tell my son, no, you ain't hanging out with them. No, absolutely not. And then I had done eavesdropped on some of their conversations. I had cussed their ass out is what I had did, and told them I will whoop their ass too. Y'all got me confused. Y'all got me all the way confused. The lawyers at Ben Crump Law are the forefront of protecting the civil rights of those denied discriminated harassment and injustice of many attorneys. Yeah, but they don't. Okay, so they should not be filing any civil lawsuits right now. They need to get their son out of jail. When you start filing lawsuits, you run into problems. They need to get their son out of jail and then pursue whatever civil rights lawsuits. And I think they should, but you don't want to let these people think that you want to sue them. You don't want to show your hand now. Don't want to show your hand. We already saw how low down and dirty these people are. Somebody said he's going to get 20 years or more or life with a chance for parole. Appellate attorney Ryan Steele, hopefully somebody will take it pro bono. Well, I think at this phase, I believe he will get an appeal. So honestly, y'all, I don't believe that they're going to try to give him a little time. I mean, come on now. I just don't. I mean, they sentenced the boy for murder. Like, this was crazy. It made it seem like he went up there with the intention. Now, when I start thinking of it, I said, okay, so they put manslaughter on the table. So I was like, now I know he's not going to get murder. Y'all, that is straight up racist. How y'all convict that boy? So if you wanted to say that he was guilty, how you say he was guilty of that? How? Y'all, listen, they ain't got nothing to do with color. That has everything to do with color. Yeah, they will give him the max. That's exactly what they're going to do. Let's just call it what it is. Obviously, he'll be able to, get an appeal, but they ain't finna let him. They're not. Bitch, you can get off my chat, oh. Why is your mammy hopeful? If you come in my chat, I'm cussing you out. You should be worried that a lot of y'all ancestors like kids. Let's have that conversation. A lot of your ancestors like children. And you know who I'm talking to. Come in my chat. Oh. Right. He didn't stand a chance with an all-white jury. He didn't stand a chance. But that was the play. Another thing, my Black people, stop showing up at juries telling the folks what you can't do. I can't sentence my Black brother. Keep that to yourself. Stop. Who says that? Why would somebody show up and say that? So we do know that it was 3 people that they pretty much kicked off the jury. But let's talk about the few Black folks that showed up talking about they can't sentence a brother. Well, you keep that to yourself and you do just that, but you can't tell them that. Like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Why would you show up at court and tell the crackers that you can't sentence a brother? Like, who does that? Somebody said at his age, at what age? 17, where his brain is not developed. You're acting like you're talking about a 30-year-old. So I don't know what you mean when you say at his age. Tell me more. He's a 17-year-old, immature, brain has not developed kid. So let me kind of tell y'all something, because let me kind of let you know something. At 20, I cut a hoe loose because you tried to jump me. So I don't understand your logic. Somebody tried to do that to me and I damn near took to push up daisies. So when you're young, you don't think. You don't think. Somebody tried to jump me and she almost met Jesus. Okay? She almost met Jesus. And I was 20. So I don't know what you mean at his age. I don't know what you mean. Yeah, because at 17 now, if you would have tried to jump me, oh yeah, you was going to see Jesus. I'm just going to be honest. You was definitely going to see Jesus. So at 17, your brain has not developed. Y'all got to think about it like this. It was proven that he did not try to he didn't try to take the boy out of here. Like, he even said, oh, he's not going to die. Like, he didn't know. They jumped that boy, and we don't even really know if that was his knife. Like, we really don't even know that. We really don't know. We really don't know nothing. We know absolutely nothing. We know what they wanted us to know. And with all of these not fake motions, but all of these gag orders and everything that was filed, we don't even know really shit that happened in the court. The reporters even said that, so I don't know if they brought the family in to see if maybe he wanted to plead guilty, but they're also saying that after, I guess they said something about yesterday that they had this strict schedule, and then all of a sudden they had been out for 2 hours, and then they said they had saw the family and, the family. So something happened yesterday, and I don't know if they were trying to get him to plead guilty. I don't know, but I don't know. This is really sad. I wonder if the family is going to make a statement. Obviously, the case is over. There's no gag order. Of course, Hunter Hoass is going to testify. Of course, after he told 99 lies. Of course, he's going to testify now, but he couldn't testify during the trial because he's a liar. He's a liar. Right. At 17, I'm telling you, I thank God for changing me, child, because I'm telling you, I was not the one. I'm telling you, or the 2 or the 3. And especially if you thought you was going to jump me, oh, you was definitely going to see Jesus. Yeah, you was going to see Jesus, the disciples, God, the angels. Hell to the no. I didn't mess with nobody, and don't with me. Don't mess with me. So at 17, again, it's, you get caught up in the heat of the moment, not thinking. I mean, they said that they surrounded him, they restricted his movement. I mean, listen, I know, have y'all ever been to the games when you have to walk up those bleachers? Those damn bleachers is dangerous. You literally have to be careful walking up and down those bleachers. Let somebody throw you down there, you're done. Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. We listen, my kids grew up in a very different environment, and that's why I was so protective over them, because I knew what I was around. And that was partially why I said, you know what? I don't want my, children to go to certain schools, but then I learned that I had made a mistake at one point in time, because I put them in a school that it was predominantly white people. And I saw some of the behaviors and some of the things they did. And, my daughter was knocking them hoes out. Like, listen, if you put your hands on her, she a meanie me. So, it was at that time where I said, we leaving, because I knew my daughter was smart. She got good grades, and you ain't finna railroad her with this bullshit when these folks is messing with her. And if you hit her, she gonna beat you up. You can't hit somebody or do something to somebody and then you get beat up and now you're the victim. No, it don't work like that. So I knew at that moment I said we gotta go. We gotta go. And now she's graduated from college. She scholarships, cum laude or cum laude, whatever you call it. She is everything that she was there when they wanted to play and try to suspend her every other. I was like, I told the principal, I said, you're racist. I told him, I'm not playing with you. You're racist. You're racist. The only single mom is your mother and your father, who's probably a pedo. It's so crazy how the racists show up in the chat, and I'm sure they're the son of a man who messes with children. Now that is ironic. That is ironic. When your entire history is centered around pedophilia, like that's where y'all came from. I would be really sad if my entire history was centered around pedophiles. But that's what y'all do. That's what you do. The only stupid is you, pedo. Go put some flowers on that boy's grave. That's what you do. Go put some flowers on his grave, because he won't wake up. Karmelo will get out, but he won't wake up. Ho, you got me confused. Karmelo will get out, but he ain't never waking up. Teach your kids to keep their hands to themselves. Fuck is you talking about in my chat? Wake him up then. See if he'll get up. They got me confused. I had no idea the incident happened on the bleachers and that Karmelo was approached. So I don't know if they were all white. So I really can't say that, because I really don't know. Because if you remember, the guy that was supposed to be his friend, who, they kind of said his name in court, I don't think he was white. I don't know if it was I don't know, but I don't think he was white. So I don't know what their races were. I really can't tell you. I don't know what their races were, but I believe that boy was attacked. I don't understand why it wasn't brought in, because I feel like the attorney had enough time to do whatever he needed to do to help this family. But I think he was more so concerned about his professional life. I mean, he didn't care. There were things he could have done. I mean, I don't know how familiar you guys are with the YSL trial, but do you remember Brian Steele submitted a motion to the Supreme Court and got that judge removed? Brian Steele, I ain't never met him, but I just love him, okay? I ain't never met him, but I just love him. Brian Steele wasn't playing. That's the kind of attorney you need. You trying to go in court making friends. You're trying to go in court making friends. You're not defending your client. Yeah, Edwin Para. That was his name. Edwin Para. So I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if they were all white. They were saying that Edwin may have been another nationality. I don't know. But yeah, this attorney did this family dirty. Karmelo protect himself and y'all being put. Karmelo protect himself and y'all being putting. Girl, I don't even know what you're talking about. You should probably learn how to read or write. Especially if you're going to come in here trying to talk slick, ho. You can't write and you talking slick. Listen, that check done already cleared. Right. That unfortunately, we know that check done already cleared. That check has already cleared. But this was sad. I know it was sad for me just hearing about it because, y'all, I am so tired of hearing about Black people getting unalive. I'm tired. Listen, look at my nails, y'all. I went and had them take my nails off. I can't mess with them folks no more. If I can't find a Black person to do my nails, then guess what? I'll be doing it myself. And also, I realize those nails harm your nail beds. I can't mess with them folks no more. I can't. Like, I just can't do it. I don't care if you like Black people. I can't go to y'all no more for no services. I just can't do it. I can't do it. I don't want to go to y'all. So if I can't find a Black person that I like to do my nails, I don't need my nails done. I really don't. Like, I went today and I had them take those nails off. They charged me $15. And then I said, you know, since you're taking the nails off, I said, you might as well give me a manicure. Do y'all know how much? Do y'all know? Look at my nails. Do y'all know how much they charge for this? Guess. $40. Guess what I left for a tip? $0. Because $40, you charged me to take off the nail and then it looked like this. You didn't put no clear polish on it. And that was $40. Girl, fuck you. I'm not giving you no tip. Absolutely not. Give them their $40 and I walked out. I can't go to y'all no more. I don't care. Call it what you want. I'm not going to the Asians, the Chinese either. I can make my own Chinese food. Yeah, $40. I can't go to y'all. If I can't find a Black person, and my birthday tomorrow, so it was hard because I was like, dang, I ain't gonna get my nails done. But it's okay. It's okay. No, I'm not. I can't do it. Not spending no more money with them. $100 every 2 weeks. I ain't doing it. Nope. If I can't find a Black person, then I'll just do my own nails. I'm just not doing it. They don't like us. Just not doing it. Right. Yeah, there's a lot of press-ons. I just don't feel comfortable giving my money to these folks. I mean, I just don't. And it's not that I don't like them. It's just that I don't want to invest any of my money with people that I don't even really think they like us for real. I think they like us because we spend money. And that's really the only reason. That's really the only reason. Right. Absolutely. Black on Black crime would have been less time in prison is what is super sick and sad. Oh, girl, absolutely. He would have probably got off. This has everything to do with race. This has everything to do with race. This is not about, no, honey, this is about you Black and you took one of them up out of here. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. Listen, it'll be pressing on for me because as I thought about it, it's really a waste of money because now y'all, I'm working out a lot, with my hands and picking up weights. I don't really need the nails. Honestly, I don't. I really don't need the nails. And again, I can't give my money to none of them folks. I just can't do it. Like, listen, when I found out that this man shot that black boy and then got off, y'all couldn't sell me nothing from their stores. You can't even give me nothing from them folks' stores. I can't take it. Like, I just, inside of me just won't even let me do it. Like I said, it's my birthday tomorrow. I don't care. I feel more empowered by not having they shit on my hands. I ain't doing it. Can't do it. Won't do it. Never doing it. It actually hurted my spirit to even go in there and ask them to take them damn nails off. But I was like, look, at least I gotta get them to take them off because I didn't have time to, soak. But I can't. I can't do it. I just can't do it. Thank y'all for the birthday wishes. But if you guys haven't liked the video, please go ahead and like it. I'm checking to see if, so they say, let's check this video. I know there is nothing showing anything as it relates to, the punishment phase, because again, we're going to actually have to wait until, it plays out in court. Because unfortunately, there's no court. There's no cameras in the court. So let's just see. I don't believe anything is being reported here, but let's just see. I don't believe anything has been reported. I don't assume that he will be sentenced that fast.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to WFAA News at 4. I'm Jason Wheeler, and a welcome to our viewers who have been watching us for the past 2 hours on WFAA Plus as we have been getting through breaking news all this afternoon. For our television audience, let's bring you up to speed on this. Today, a jury has found Karmelo Anthony guilty of murder in the Frisco track meet stabbing trial. That verdict, the jury came to that decision just before 2 o'clock this afternoon and delivered that verdict in court a little bit after that. Right now, the case is in the sentencing phase. That part began immediately after the jury delivered its verdict this afternoon. You're looking at a live picture from our chopper at this hour, which is there at the courthouse in McKinney, where this trial has taken place. We have seen some folks gathering there from both sides of this, crowds of onlookers gathering every day of this trial, people lining up early in the morning, trying to get one of the coveted seats inside the courtroom. Here's a ground shot of part of the crowd that we're still seeing this afternoon. This trial has gone on for a week now. Some of the folks who have been coming are from out of town. Some are high schoolers. All of them, though, proof of the far-reaching interest in this case and the emotional impact that this case has had. In April of 2025, Karmelo Anthony, who was then a student at Frisco Centennial High School, was arrested and charged for the stabbing death of Austin Metcalf at a high school track meet at Kirkendall Stadium there in Frisco. Metcalf was a student at Frisco Memorial. Anthony was charged with murder by the Collin County District Attorney. Prosecutors had the burden of showing that he meant to, that he knew he was causing the death of Austin Metcalf following that stabbing at the track meet after there was a confrontation under the Memorial High School tent where Anthony had been sitting. He was being asked to leave since that was a rival school's tent. He produced a knife out of his bag and stabbed Austin Metcalf in the chest. During a 7-day trial, the state said that he knew what he was doing, that he intended to murder Austin Metcalf. The defense, however, arguing that Anthony was just acting in self-defense, that he was protecting himself that day. Anthony was 17 years old at the time, which is considered an adult under Texas law. However, this case does not qualify to be charged as a capital murder because of the circumstances of the case. So the death penalty and life in prison without parole were not possibilities here. Now, we have the verdict in, that is guilty. We just learned that a little while ago from the jury in this case. Now we are in the sentencing phase. It moved on, as I said, immediately to that point of the case. Murder in this case carries a sentence of 5 to 99 years in prison. Although if you've been with us on WFAA Plus, you know that there is the possibility here that the defense could get 2 to 20 years as an option in front of the jury as well. So we're going to get into all of this here in this hour.
All right, y'all. I just wanted to see if they had, provided any information to see if he had been sentenced. But of course, they haven't done that yet. But I don't think they're going to give him 2 years. Definitely, hell no, they're not going to give him 2 years. They're going to throw as many books at him as humanly possible. Unfortunately, that is what they're going to do. But again, I'm really hopeful that this is going to be overturned. People have been making a lot of videos, and I know the content creator Secret Service Sam just released a video that I showed you guys, and I got it from Simone Redwine, attorney Simone Redwine, on her Instagram, in which there's a picture, and I'm going to show you guys. I'm not
father of the victim.
But here's the video here, and there's a picture, if you guys can see, and they're saying that picture, I know that, that's the Jeff Metcalf, and they're saying that's the district attorney and the judge. Now, I don't know. I have no idea, but I'm hopeful that, this family is going to find some relief. But when I came on here to do my video, I really wasn't expecting a verdict. In all honesty, I was going to do this video and then I was going to come back later and, try to do like a couple hours of a verdict watch. I was really optimistic and really hoping for the best. I even thought that, okay, they introduced manslaughter. So possibly, they may feel like, because I really didn't think that they would find him guilty of murder though. So you're telling me that the jury believed that he went there to unalive somebody that he didn't even know? That doesn't make any sense. That makes absolutely no sense. The jury didn't like him either. Let's just call it what it is. The jury didn't like him. I mean, what y'all got to understand is people of other colors, and it's not just white, some Asian people too, they don't see us as humans. Are you serious? You sentence a just turned 18-year-old to murder for having a fight with somebody who put his hands on him first. And then y'all got to understand this. It's not like it was multiple wounds. It was one time. What if he was on fentanyl? I don't know. They was saying all this shit about George Floyd. Oh, George Floyd, he died of fentanyl. What if he was on it? He could have been on fentanyl. I mean, we don't know that. Something is not right. Yeah, something is not right. Let me check here and see if anything else is coming out. I mean, a lot of this could have been resolved if the dumbass judge would have allowed the cameras to be in the court. I'm just checking. Do anybody want to come up? I'm going to drop the link while I'm looking here. If you guys want to come up, I'm definitely going to drop the link. If y'all want to come up. But I'm just looking to see if there's anything else that's happening here. Whew. Yeah, this has been a bad day for me because I was really hoping for this to turn out different. So we're still waiting here. I'm just looking. If you guys want to come up while I'm just looking here. Why would the judge, he was the Metcalf friend? Because see, what people fail to realize is small towns, they do all sort of underhanded shit. And what people fail to realize is we live in a different era, and people like myself, you know, before I quit my job, because I used to work for the federal government, you know, and then I would do YouTube like part-time. But a lot of us on YouTube, we do this full time. So we got time to look all kinds of shit up. So they did it because they thought they could get away with it. You know, we don't live in that old era where you can just do shit and think the folks on the internet won't look you up, because they will. Sam in the video is under attack also. I hope the original video has not been tampered with. What does that mean? Sam in the video is under attack? I'm sorry, I don't know what that means. You said Sam in the video is under attack? Well, this is not about the judges, lawyers, and prosecutors all working together, but this is about right here. Let me show you this right here. You know, they're saying that, you know, working together is one thing, but hanging out together is another. You know, this is giving conflict of interest. So, yeah, of course they all know each other, because a judge is nothing more than an elected attorney, elected lawyer. That's all a judge is. So obviously, you know, they know each other. They have worked together. But in this case, they're making it seem like they had more than that they were, you know, that they were like friends. And even in that, you know, case where you have taken a picture with somebody, even if y'all not friendly, you should recuse yourself. In this video right here, you know, attorney Simone Redwine, she talks about, you know, being in situations where judges that she was, how should I put it, that she was familiar with had to recuse themselves. So this is given set up. Can you imagine what Karmelo Anthony feels? Last hug until who knows how. I don't. It's a lot. Imagine this, and this is what I was saying, you know, moving your family to these white places. This family talked about actually moving them, their families to moving the family to Texas for a better life. Imagine how the mother and the father feel. They moved their family clear across town for this to happen. Hi, India.
Hey, how you doing? You're doing a good job on this coverage, and I'm really upset. I knew they was gonna railroad this boy.
I need a drink. Listen, I need a drink. I'm just gonna be honest. I need a whole drink to calm my nerves, and I don't even drink. Like, what just happened?
It's terrible, and I feel a certain way about it because I had a 19-year-old son that was taken violently by gunfire. Okay, and it was early in the afternoon behind the police station of the suburb we used to live in. The boy unalived my son, and they only gave him 15 years. So and the boy was 16. My son was 19. He would have been 25 if he made it this year. But that's why I'm so passionate about it, because how can y'all accept this guy bullying everybody around, beating his father's ass, breaking his father's arm, letting him be, and he was abusive to the mother. That's why twins was jumping on the boys, allegedly. The twins was jumping on the father. They never smiled with him when he was in photographs with them. And then they turn around and take out all of their hate and anger on Karmelo Anthony and his family, because they were a whole unit, a happy whole unit. They
Well,
only
guess
failed
what?
one thing, which was to talk to their son about bullying, being bullied, and checking his bag for weapons because of the type of county and state that they live in. Now, I'll be 54 years old, and I was always taught you don't go playing in the bushes. And when I mean the bushes, I mean the presidents. So they always had a noose in Texas, and they still holding on to it tightly today.
Well, guess what? The judge did not allow any evidence to come in about those boys' background. So tell me, why would the attorney, knowing that the judge did this, did not appeal to a higher court? The judge had already said
this together. I believe the lawyers that sucked out of that GoFund money, and they already had it in their mind that we're gonna sink him. I don't know what type of election time it may be coming up for in Texas, but somebody trying to make a statement. And it's so sad that this young boy who had his whole life ahead of him and was not taught properly how to handle conferences, conflict and things like that, now has to learn by being an example, put in textbook. I believe these white folks gonna put this in the textbooks now here for these kids to learn about. Make an example out of this. Is modern day slavery we going through.
They definitely jammed him up. This was definitely, listen, I looked up that attorney. When I looked at that attorney and saw how they said he was such a good attorney, I said, listen, we got to give him the benefit of the doubt because he has a week. Now, when they wrapped the case, I said, wait a minute. How the case is not done.
It was a setup from the very beginning. Who's had trial on a Saturday? I never heard of that. Trial on Saturday? They wanted him so bad. They forget family time. We got to get this boy off the street now. Everybody is at risk if we let him go. The boy ran. Karmelo ran towards the coach in a frantic. Like, hey, look, they done had me in the headlock. The way the tent was set up with his back towards the bleachers, nowhere to run. They obstructed his airway. So you telling me, well, George Floyd's airway was obstructed and they didn't think it was bad because he was so caught on fentanyl, passing around counterfeit $20 bills.
Right.
But is enough enough?
Yeah. They say, oh, George Floyd didn't die. Oh, he was on fentanyl. So I said, they should have probably did a second autopsy on Austin. He could have had fentanyl. We don't know.
Right. What's the point of pulling his heart out of his body to show the pictures to the jury or whatever? Okay, he hit the aorta or whatever it was. He out of here. It's a tragedy. No mother likes to lose their son. But the principle behind this was I could have accepted them giving him some time for a manslaughter charge. I do not believe first degree was warranted. He did not intend on going to sit in the tent that he knew nobody at, that he was going to get jumped, and he knew exactly where the knife was, and he knew when the guy came up on him that he was going to stab him in the left heart and puncture a ventricle or aorta or whatever part that he hit that was life-threatening on that boy. I don't believe that. Now I can take them giving him some time, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years. And that's not because that's what they gave the guy that killed my son. It's because example does need to be set. There are different ways to handle things and confrontations, especially if it's going to turn violent. Don't let it become fatal. But since you did, we're going to let you go with this one.
Right.
But the next time, because Texas is a three-state strike law. So you do it 2 more times, you out of here for good.
Right.
So
and then how is it to get that charge, you intentionally did it, you set out to do it when they already said that when he, the coach said, if this kid dies, you just got yourself in trouble. And he immediately said he wasn't going to die. Like, he didn't think
he showed sympathy. He was just being scared. He thought fight or flight kicks in, your central nervous system reacts, neurotransmitter synapses are dispersed in the body. So either you're going to fight or you're going to run. So there was nowhere for him to run. So that takes out one of his options. The only other option he had left was to fight so he could get to somebody to let them know what was going on.
And that was
I would like to know why there was no faculty under the tent anyway, if they were on a weather break expecting a tornado. It's so many questions that have not been answered when it comes to this young man.
Right. So many. I agree. I totally agree.
But they out here singing, boosting bitches, where y'all at? Stuff in your back. Now look what done happened to this boy life. If you got sons, you ain't got no business singing that stupid ass song. I don't have nothing against Young Miami, but come on, look at what's happening to our culture. Look what's happening to our people. And y'all out here talking about stuffing something in your bag and all of this, spin that shit and all that. You our people to wake up. For real now, come on. How many times we gonna keep letting this slide? This generation of people, they don't even know the song "We Shall Overcome." We should have ever came by now.
Right. This is we going like back like this is. I'm telling you, I was like, there's no way. Like manslaughter, maybe, but
yeah, we know it's no second degree in Texas. Manslaughter is the next thing after first degree because it does not meet the specs. Like you said, the jury did not like him. I don't believe the jury liked him.
Like him.
Nobody liked him. Nobody liked him. So,
and the thing about it is, everybody pretty much that went to the trial said that these kids seem like they're lying. You know, the jury had to see that as well. So they just could not let that boy walk free. They said, we don't care if these kids is lying because he did stab them. We're going to convict them. And that is really effed up. And another thing
they did the bait and switch on them. They went ahead and they lowered the bond because they knew they was going to keep the money and they knew they was going to keep him. See, y'all sitting out here singing and focusing your attention. You got to study these white supremacists and these white people and these high powers and places and principalities and everything that the Bible teaches us about, because it's true and it's real. This is warfare we going through, and y'all out here trying to get something for free for a low pay. Come on.
Right. Another thing we need to stop doing now. I get that people want to leave certain areas. I would not move me in an area where it's all white people. If I got to call the police, I need it to be black and white. I don't want, because if you all white, I may not even let you in my house. You understand what I'm saying? I don't play.
I understand what you're saying from the Sonya Massey case. I definitely understand what you're saying.
I don't play that. Where I live, I had to call the police a few times. It'll be a black and white. It usually is a black or a white. There's a slim chance that they may be all white, but generally it'll be a black and a white, or it may even be a black and a black. You see what I'm saying? Why do we move areas where if we got to call a police, they all white? Who does? Like, I wouldn't even want to live there. Like, you need people that relate to you. We got to stop thinking white is right, sending our kids to these all white schools. And then our kids now is being discriminated against because we want them to go to what we feel is better. And it's not always better, because I experienced it when I sent my kids. Stop sending your kids there. You see what I'm saying? Stop sending your kids there. You're not a bad parent because your kids go to a school where they may have a few fights every now and then. Because when they get out here to these white schools, they gonna show them how they ain't shit and act like it didn't happen.
Now, I agree with you on a certain point with that. They is gonna show them that they ain't shit, but they also gonna show them things in the school, in the textbook, that the black schools is not offering. See, so it is an advantage and it is a disadvantage. Now, you do want your child to have some diversity. You do want them hanging with a couple of Megans and a couple of Ambers, but not too many of them.
Too many. It gotta be.
If you got sons, because I don't want to hear nothing about he was on top of me doing his business while I was over visiting Sally. We not about to play them games.
Right. No, you
but
definitely
I understand what you're saying.
But what I'm saying is, it has to be environment where it's not just one color. You see what I'm saying? It got to be,
Yes,
you know,
it has to be
black
diverse.
too. You can't send your kids to a place where, you know, it's 5% black people. Yeah, you wouldn't.
No,
Don't do
because they're gonna be set out to be sought out. No,
Yeah.
I agree with you on that. And that's what Peach McIntyre was talking about when they sent her kids home with those needy little belly bags and she
Right.
bust their ass on it.
Right.
I know
Yeah,
what you're talking about.
yes. I remember that. So they looked at her, don't know this woman make way more money than probably all of y'all up in here, and thought that she had all these little poor, hungry kids. Yeah, I remember that.
Yes. And she set them on a whole nother record. So I understand what you're saying, but the way they played this boy and the way they drew him, I mean, everything about it was negative. The way the artists drew him, they made him look like a 50-year-old man from behind and from the side shots, and making him look like he's old and wrinkled and saying his age wrong. He's 19. No, he just turned 18. Remember, it just happened last April of 2025. It's only been a year and a couple of months. So no, he's not 19. He went in when he was 17. He's 18 now. And the reason that they're making these careless mistakes is that they never cared from the very beginning.
No.
All they thought was, wow, we got one. We can make an example out of him. And we bet we're going to set the bar so high, which the legal term deter, everybody knows the word deter, to stop people from doing acts of this kind. We're going to set the bar so high that it's going to deter you from even thinking about doing anything like this to another Caucasian race again. They don't even give you that. They didn't even give people that much time for Asian hate. You remember when the Asian hate was going on?
Right. And listen, they wanted to get him off the streets immediately. Where have you heard that a person is sentenced and they say, oh, we're moving right into the sentencing phase? You know it don't work like that.
No,
right?
Ain't nobody heard no closing arguments or nothing. What was it? And the biggest mistake they made, they did not put him on the stand to talk for himself and show remorse or whatever, because the jurors, even though they're not looking at him directly, they're looking at him peripherally and they're checking him out, even though they're listening, they multitasking to see if he's going to show any reaction of remorse or anything like this. And they looking at him and hating all this stuff, even though they made sure they hotel rooms didn't have any TVs or any type of telecommunications or anything in there. Who's to say they wasn't going from door to door, knocking on each other's motel room or whatever Texas paid for them to stay in, and talking amongst themselves, or going downstairs getting the complimentary breakfast in there's newspapers?
Well, here's the deal.
We don't know if they didn't have nothing.
The thing about it, they made that decision fast. They had already made their decision during the trial. It didn't take them a day. So they literally, they said they sent them around 10 o'clock, 10 something. You see how fast they made that decision? Yeah. That's because they already decided. They had already decided that.
I believe they already decided, not only when the trial started, but I believe it already started when they gave them that extra long lunch. Remember, they said, oh, we're going to have a extended lunch and all this stuff. They already knew then. They was just holding us off. They were just holding us off.
Right, because people were saying, like, we don't know what happened yesterday. Like, we were all on schedule and all of a sudden we were waiting hours, but then they did say that we saw the family go in, and they were saying that they wish, because what ended up happening, they said even the reporters were out, like nobody could come in, but they saw the family going to the court, which to me, again, I don't like this judge because he's holding all of these proceedings.
I don't trust nobody with the last name Roach. We gonna start right there.
Right.
I got a can of Raid on my porch right now. I don't trust nobody with the last name Roach because they're going to do you dirty. Suffixes, if we go all the way back to pre-K and K, and prefixes mean something.
Right.
You got a lawyer with a bad last name, a judge with a bad last name. It's just like getting married with the hand of the clock going down. Everything going to go down.
Right. Now, another thing I want to correct you on. So they did not get sequestered because, remember, if they hadn't made a decision today, they were going to the hotel at the end of the day. So they hadn't even been in the hotel. That would have happened at the end of the day. Yes, that would have happened at the end of the day. So they never made it to the hotel. That's what I'm telling you. They had already decided their decision. So if they hadn't have made the decision today, they were going to be in a hotel until they made the decision. They made it today. For one, them folks didn't want to go to no hotel, and they had made up their decision.
That's terrible. They completely railroaded this guy. I didn't even trust the lawyers that they got. The mother up there crying and everything. What you have to understand, Black parents, emotions do not work on the court of law. They don't care about you crying. You could be falled out, passed out, almost getting ready to go meet Jesus, and they don't care nothing about it. The only thing they care about is what you can prove and how you can prove it, and how factual the information is. They don't care about all that crying and whimpering and hyperventilating and sucking in too much CO2 and going to metabolic alkalosis. They don't care nothing about none of that.
Well, the thing about it is they don't see us as human. So when you don't see a race as human, I mean, of course they don't see emotions because they see us as animals. I mean, listen, how old you say you 54?
Mm-hmm.
I'll be 51 tomorrow. I don't give a damn if nobody don't like me. I don't have those issues. So what we as Black people have to understand is what they think of us. They think that we are animals. I'm okay with it. I don't give a, you see what I'm saying? But you have to know you can kick, holler, scream, snot, do whatever you want. They don't see us as humans
or equal.
Or equal. They look at us, some of them, as
Bessie versus Ferguson is still not what it's supposed to be. We are still separate and not equal. We're not separate but equal. That's not what's happening here.
Right. It is what it is. Like I said, it doesn't bother me because I'm not competing for their love or their attention. And they had a content creator. Do you know who Neek at Night is? Did you?
Yes,
you know
I know Neek at Night.
Now she was there, and they had her crying. And when I tell you, my heart went out.
I saw that. She was hyperventilating, and I'm like, did somebody touch her? Or she couldn't even finish the video. I'm like, what happened? She's like, she's gonna come back, and then she didn't come back until midnight. I'm on the West Coast, so she came back around midnight West Coast and stayed on for a couple hours. But what happened? What happened? Do you know what happened?
Well, what she said, because I saw another video she did. So what white people do is they try to intimidate you. So what they were doing was, so there was a situation with this lady named Sarah. Now, Sarah, they're saying she's a racist. I don't know who the lady is, but they're saying that she's a racist. They also said she was friendly with the family in court. But what I heard is that they were using intimidation tactics. For instance, she was, I guess, recording her video. So this lady, Sarah, sent men to surround her. Well, they didn't touch her, but if somebody is closely related to somebody that is on, I think it was X, putting her picture up and saying all kind of stuff about her. And now these same men that's affiliated with her are like, they're trying to make her feel uncomfortable. Is what they
intimidate her.
Intimidated. Girl, I would have mooned out of them. Okay. Kiss all of this. Okay. So I understand she's younger. So she kind of
made me louder a little bit, actually.
She played it, she kind of played into the narrative of we're going to intimidate you, but we're not going to do enough that it is a crime, is really what they did. So, surrounding her car or just coming in, just doing little petty things that they do.
But journalist, you can't wear your feelings on your sleeve, and you got to also know because of the specs of it. So
Right. Yeah, it was sad. When I watched it, I was really, really sad. I'm like, oof, it could never be me. Because when I tell you I don't give a F-U-C-K, I don't. Like, there is nothing you can do. Like, I would have paid them damn people no attention. I probably wouldn't have known that they were there, because when I'm not paying attention, I'm not. But I think made her feel uncomfortable. You know, it made her feel extremely
But that's
uncomfortable.
part of being a journalism, though. A journalist. That's part of journalism. You're gonna be
Right.
made feel uncomfortable. Everybody that smile ain't happy for you. That's
Right.
part of it. You have to expect new levels, new devils. You have to expect the haters. That's why you have to do your protection, triple protection bracelet, protection baths with sage and salt, all this stuff, because you encountering all kinds of new demons trying to
Right.
get your voice heard and trying to come across
Right.
for someone. So she gonna
Well,
have to
thank
just
you for
do a little
coming
bit
up. Let me take this next person. You have a great rest of your day,
of.
okay? Thanks.
You
Bye.
too.
I'll be quick. Yeah.
Hi.
Hi, Lakeysha.
How are you?
I'm well, and yourself?
I'm doing good. I mean, I was doing better until I heard this verdict. So I feel like I need to go get me a bottle of wine or something because, yeah, this is just, whew.
Yeah, it was a lot. I'll speak a little bit on that, and then I'll speak a little bit on the Neek situation because they were actually targeting our journalists. Um, I guess I can start with that first. Okay, so we had some of our people going out there, right, agitating the situation, like, and so Neek and Queen Sheba. I don't know if you know who she is,
I
but
do.
they got the yeah, so they got the brunt of it. And so Queen Sheba and Neek, they have the same hairstyle. I don't know if you noticed.
Yes.
So the YT lady, Sarah, went on her social media trying to start issues because it was a line issue, like, okay, we were here first, ain't no saving no spots and stuff like that. Which Neek and Queen Sheba, they went to New York. You know, some of them sometimes, you know, you have people that pay people to hold your line holders or whatever the case may be. However, they worked it out, that's how they worked it out. Sarah went online making up lies, saying that she was scared for her life, saying that that I guess Neek was intimidating her, and you know, all these other things. Neek said that she didn't want to communicate with her because when she met her, she's big on energy. The energy was off and she was bad news. So that was that. Now, as far as the verdict and things like that, there are some things that I'm not kind of pleased with. I just kind of feel like if, you know, Austin had placed his hands on Karmelo, that was the time for him to strike. When they said, oh, they had conversation and just like, you know, back and forth, you know, of course, you know, they're looking for any way to say that he didn't defend himself. They were looking for, oh, well, he pushed them, then he attacked. That's something that I guess we can work with more. Being that Karmelo has seizures, he had just had some issues like with his arm. He had to pull out of the season that he was playing in football. Um, I also have to mention we have to be mindful and careful of the zip codes that we're moving in. When we really think about it, you're moving out because you want to get out the hood, but you're moving to a place where people vote different, they think different, they see you different, and they don't see it for you, and they really don't want you in their neighborhoods. You on mute. You on mute.
That part. Now, when you said they really don't want you in their neighborhoods, that's me right there. If it's an all white neighborhood, why in the hell am I moving there? It's all white for a reason. That is how I feel. If it's a all white neighborhood, y'all have a good day, good life. I don't want to live there. I just don't. I don't want to live there.
Absolutely, because they're the makeup. You know, they're the makeup. Like, say you're not intentionally or got the thought of, you know, protecting yourself or anything like that. But if it comes down to it and you end up in a situation and it happens to be in this county, then what did you expect?
Right. Yeah. And I don't
You
think, and
know?
that's it. When I first did it, and you know, I didn't think of the implications until we moved. And I said, you know, never again, you know, because we think, you know, we want and we do want our, you know, children to have a better environment, but we don't think about issues. We just think that everything is going to be perfect. But as soon as issues come up, if your kids are Black and they're in a all white neighborhood or all white school, that's who they point the finger at, because it happened to my daughter. My daughter is
But Lakeysha, why do we do that?
Because we want
Because
better.
we want higher education. Because we know that they are getting the funds that we are not getting over here in the hood. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're right. So again, you want your children in a better environment. But what I was saying is, you don't, like, for me as a parent, I didn't think about, oh, well, something happens at school, I want my daughter to be treated fairly. I never thought about that. Or, my son is going to tell me after he graduates at this high school that he didn't even like it. Like, we don't think about that, because we're thinking about, we want to put them in the best environment. And we not, like, for me, I wasn't looking at it, oh, because they're all white people. I just didn't like all of the fighting and the bullcrap. You see what I'm saying? I didn't like that. So, but again, I should have did better research. And that was something that I learned from, when my kids have kids, we're going to have that conversation. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. So yeah,
but we should be able to do this all around the board. This was a wake-up call. Even if it's a job that you're going for or applying for, see what that job is about before you get in there and get into a whirl of something when you turn down a better opportunity. So we just don't jump at the first thing that pops up to us. It's just like healthcare, go get a second and third opinion. Go get a second and third option. You know what I'm saying? It's mental health is real. Anger management is real. We need to be teaching our children to have a safety plan. If you're caught in a situation on your cell phone, you can shake it nowadays, call the police. Don't even, just, if nobody's around, that's what you do. So it's more of a looking for a solution. But I enjoy your content. Thank you for having me. And whenever you have the open panels again, I'll definitely come back through.
Well, thank you for coming up. Have a great rest of your day. Does anybody want to come up? I'm going to drop the link. But yeah, I think that was a really good conversation. Those are things that, we really need to be cognizant about, because we really don't know what's going to happen, and like I said, I didn't move from a neighborhood because I didn't like the neighborhood, because I was always, I didn't tell y'all the full story. So I lived in a neighborhood and I took my kids to a whole nother neighborhood because I actually wanted them to be in a neighborhood where it was Black people. So I really lied. I didn't give them the right address, right? Because I wanted them to be in a community with kids that look like them. But they kept having fights. And then one of the number one reason why I took them out of that school is because, they go out for recess. But why the folks was, they were shooting, every time they, they telling me, oh, we had to go in because they were shooting. So I'm like, oh, I'm taking y'all out of there. So that is how they ended up at this other school. Okay. So yeah, I actually lived there, but they didn't go to that school simply because I didn't want them in that environment. So I was essentially forced, like, okay, we're just gonna put you in a school by the house, because I'm now fearful, because I'm like, damn, every time y'all go out for recess, they keep talking about y'all had to go back in because somebody was lighting it up out there. So I was fearful, like, dang, bet not nothing happened to my kids out here. So it's just so many things, y'all, that we have to worry about, like so many different things. What y'all saying in the chat? Oh, right. Somebody said, yes, so true. I had my youngest son in an all-white school, but I wouldn't do it in the, oh, girl, absolutely. And then now we got this crazy nutty president. Like, yeah, we're definitely living in some different times. And I believe, you can actually find some really good schools. Like, you just have to really, be proactive. White is not right. I mean, look at what just happened to Carmelo Anthony. My heart goes out for all of them, but it really goes out for his parents, because me as a mother, I know what it's like to want the best for your children. And imagine the mother now feeling like she brought her family to an environment that she thought she was providing a better environment, all for this to happen. I know she feels terrible. She said they moved from, was it Louisiana? They moved from Louisiana because she wanted better for this to happen. I couldn't imagine what she's going through right now. There is no way a legit lawyer would not call the two men that saw everything and had been begging to be allowed to testify. No way a legit lawyer would not have produced a clear copy of the attack. Yeah, I just feel like this was a setup. You know, as I said, as I think about this case, we were surprised. The attorney wasn't surprised, because when you go to trial, you already agree on the witnesses, you agree on evidence. He already knew this, y'all. He did nothing for his client. I use attorney Brian Steele as an example. If y'all are familiar with the YSL trial down here, y'all remember how that judge was acting up in that court. And what did they do? They got his fool ass removed, okay? That is how you advocate for your client. He didn't give a damn about them. He wanted that money, that damn near $700,000 that they had in that GoFundMe, or that, I think it was called 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐿, and that's all he wanted. That's all he wanted. The attorney was a snake. I had been sending that attorney emails, I believe, for the last 3 days. One of the emails I sent his attorney, I sent him the timestamps of Queen Sheba's video. I sent him the timestamps of Law and Crime video, where they were saying that that father was in there leading the witness. All that attorney needed to do is pull the surveillance from inside the court. That he did nothing. He did absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. So I feel like he would definitely get an appeal on the sole purposes of the what do I want to say? The what are those people called? The jurors didn't even reflect Karmelo Anthony. I mean, a bunch of white people and Asians. How is that reflective of Karmelo Anthony? He ain't white. He ain't Asian. We want the YouTube, the YTS, I don't know what that is, to treat us with respect and blame racism for it, but we can't show our, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, I really don't know what that means. I have no idea what that means. Well, y'all, I'm going to see again to see. Like I said, I don't think we're going to get anything in terms of the, I don't think we're going to get anything for several hours. So nothing has been posted. And like I said, I don't think we're going to find out anything as it relates to Karmelo's sentencing. We're not going to get anything for several hours, y'all. Exactly. His lawyer is a fraud. How is it that the clear copy of the footage was accessible to YouTubers public, but not his dirty attorney? Because no 5852, that is what I was just speaking of. When you go to trial, they already decide on what is going to be allowed. What I'm simply saying, okay, lemon deck, whatever you are, get the fuck out of here. You got to go. So what I'm simply saying is they make a decision on what evidence is going to be allowed. So the fact that his attorney knew since April or whenever they made the decision on what evidence they're going to allow in, he knew that they would only allow certain pieces of the video. He should have challenged that, and he did nothing. He didn't care. He didn't care. He didn't care. So although we were surprised, his attorney was not surprised, just so y'all know. The attorney was not surprised. This was stuff that had already been put in motion. We were surprised. He knew all of this already. He was not surprised. So he did, like I said, he did nothing for his client. He sent a what? He's 18 years old. He sent an 18-year-old to prison for murder. Well, he didn't do anything. All around the country, these attorneys and judges go to school, and work together within a court system every day. Feels like he was cooked and deserves an appeal. Yeah, but he was just a bad attorney. I mean, I've saw attorneys. I'm going to keep saying Brian Steele. Brian Steele went head to head with the judge, got the judge removed. Your job is to protect your client. The only person that's going to get you more clients is your client. This man ruined his reputation to be accepted by white people. They said Karmelo Anthony's attorney was one of the best attorneys. He sabotaged this case on purpose. He sabotaged the case on purpose. If you guys have not liked the video, please go ahead and do that. I really appreciate it. You say his parents did that? I have no idea what you're talking about. I mean, maybe you're missing some of the words. I don't know what you mean. You say his parents. You say his parents did that? What does that mean? I have no idea. Yeah, you got to protect your client. Listen, I told y'all, I wish I could have went to law school. I don't live for anybody acceptance. In fact, I'd be more happier when you don't like me so you can leave me alone, okay? I'm not buddy friends with somebody and leaving my damn client out here to dry. We blowing up the friendship. It's over. It's over, okay? This lawyer knew what he was doing when he did it. Let me show y'all something. Did y'all know how much money they had in that damn thing? I think it was close to $700,000. That man wanted his hands on that money. That's what he wanted. Let me see if I can find it. He wanted that money. Let's see. It was a lot of money in there. Karmelo Anthony family raised $600. Let me show y'all. That man wanted that damn money. That's what he wanted. He wanted the money that was in that account, and he did nothing. They need to file. They also need to file a complaint against him. They had $390.01. And it looked like people still giving money. Now, since he's been found guilty, they starting to give more money. Let me give some. I don't know if I got my account in here. I gotta look, y'all. People starting to give money again. Good. Oh, I love this for them. Look, y'all, in the last hour, 2 hours, people have started to give more money because they know that they're going to need another attorney. So that attorney simply wanted that damn money, and that's it. The prosecutor who lost the case in South Carolina was my lawyer. It's a bunch of smoke and mirrors. I'm telling you from experience. You said the prosecutor who lost the case in South Carolina. Oh, against, girl, they said they just did that on purpose because I feel like they overcharged and they shouldn't have did that. Queen Sheba is full of crap. She gives pygmy vibes. If a person cover up the truth like Sheba is doing, I make it my biz not to trust a thing they say. They have no bottom line. Well, you know, some people don't have the, you know, the I don't give a fuck attitude like I have. See, that's just because this is what I learned. And let me just tell y'all my story. I think when I was younger, I didn't speak up for myself. Like, I feel like when I grew up, like I was quiet and I did not speak up for myself. So guess what? I'm making up for it. I don't give a damn what people think about me. I really don't. And I think life is happier that way. I don't give a damn if you like me. I don't care if you don't. Like, I'm not competing for your love. So I don't feel pressured to be anybody other than my own crazy ass self. So I don't change my voice when I talk to white people. I don't do none of that. You know, I remember when I was younger, I would do that, you know, try to, you know, maybe I was back then trying to be accepted, but I don't give a damn, you know, like I was talking to somebody and they were like, I think it was a white person, and she said, "What you say?" I said, "Can you hear?" I talk clear. I have said the same thing 2 times and you keep asking me, what did I say? I talk clear. I know how to pronounce words. I said, "Can you hear?" I was serious. Girl, can you hear? Like, I have said this over and over again. I was just wondering, can you hear? So, I mean, I don't know if she got mad, but after constantly repeating myself, she fixed my food and I walked out. Like, I'm not finna keep, first of all, I'm the customer. I'm telling you the same thing over and over again. Like, you can't hear? I left. Bye, and went to another restaurant. Listen, I'm the customer. Treat me with respect, or I'll do what I did to her. Make you make all that food, and when you go to the register, I walk the fuck out. Like, first of all, quit playing with me. I'm the customer. Treat me with respect. You sitting here acting like you can't hear what I'm saying, and I'm speaking clear. Like, girl, oh, okay. Bye. Now get that shit to somebody else. Yeah, I'm not competing for. Let me just tell you something. If I was kissing somebody's ass, you can bet my life they wouldn't be white. I'm just, listen, you can say I'm racist. You can say whatever you want. I ain't gonna even correct you. You can think what you want to think. But I would never do that to those folks because they done enough to us to last a few more damn generations. So it is what it is. I am not pick me shit. Okay? I don't care what you like. I don't give a damn what you don't like because at the end of the day, it's your life. Do what you want to do. Listen, I like my crazy. I am comfortable with my crazy and I approve my crazy. I'm not kissing up to no damn white people. Absolutely not. I'm not kissing up to no white people. I'm not trying to make them think I'm smart. I'm not trying to make them think that, oh, I'm not like the other black people. None of that. I'm not doing none of that. Why would you do all of that? Who's doing all of that? I'm not doing all of that. I am comfortable in who I am. I'm comfortable in all of that. You ain't finna demean me. You're not acting like you can't pronounce my name. You're not acting like you don't understand what I said. I'm not playing none of those games. I just told a white lady the other day, you know, I really don't like you. I don't. I had to tell her, girl, I don't like you. I said, I don't like your attitude. I don't like you. Listen, it is what it is. I didn't like her. And I told her. It's very problematic that they put out the black jurors. This needs to be appealed. You know, and I believe that it will be appealed. I believe that it will be appealed. I wish, I mean, obviously I'm not an attorney, okay? So maybe there is some technicality. Like I said, I'm gonna be watching because whoever lawyer they pick, I'm sending him the stuff that I sent the last lawyer. Maybe there's a way that they can, I pray that there is a way that they can overturn this and be able to, what am I trying to say? Keep him out of jail or out of prison. I really, really hope that for this family because I feel like, obviously, I felt compassion for him because he's Black. I'm not going to sit up here and be like, I'm just fair because it just that. Yes, I feel compassion for him because he's Black. I said what I said, and if I was on the jury, I would have been lying. I would have been like, yeah, I'm gonna sentence him. I would have hung that bitch. Yes, I would have. Sure would have, because why not? Hey, it is what it is. Do you think I was gonna sit up in there and send this Black brother to jail? Hell to the no. I would have been lying through all these teeth. Absolutely. Yes. Yes. Yes, I have compassion for him because he was Black. So, do I feel he should have went to prison? No. I'm just going to be honest. But if he had to go to prison, I don't feel like murder was the charge. I'm just going to be honest. I do not feel, now this is me being completely honest, I don't feel like he should have been charged with that. And that's me putting my feelings aside, me saying that, okay, I know he Black, you know, I should have compassion for my Black people, but let's just say I didn't have any compassion for him. And I'm saying he should be punished. He shouldn't have got murdered. I'm just being honest, y'all. I don't believe he should have been charged with that. That is why when they introduced the manslaughter, I was like, okay, now, you know, they have manslaughter. So I was hoping that, you know, I said, I know they won't convict him of murder. So if he were to get manslaughter, at least that's a little bit less. Never in a million years did I think they was going to come back and convict that boy of murder. That's why if I'm ever on a jury, I'm going to lie. Prove that I lied. Y'all got to feel the same way. They go into these juries each and every time, not even liking y'all ass. Do you think they're going to tell them folks? Oh, some of them Black folks showed up and told the people in the court that they couldn't sentence a brother. I wish I could have slapped them. You don't tell them that. You keep that to yourself. Are you slow? I would have been like, Your Honor, listen, I'm going to follow the law. This ain't about race. This is about the law. They would have been like, why you say not guilty? Because I don't believe those witnesses. Do you really think those people in that court that found him not guilty, they came in there, you know, saying that they was going to find him, that found him guilty. They came in there saying that he was guilty. They didn't decide that. They came in there with their damn mind already made up. They came in there with their mind already made up. And we got to start doing the same effing thing. You know, it's our righteous ass that sit up there. Oh, well, he should have did that. They don't do that. They don't do that. If Karmelo would have been any other color, he would have got off. I'm sorry. If it was turned around, that boy would have been found not guilty. And if you think he wouldn't, I mean, you see cases after cases after cases where it was minors that was unalived by an adult and they all got off. Yeah, the Asians too. I ain't messing with them. Look at my nails. Listen, if I can't find a Black person to do my nails, I won't wear them. I'm done with them. I don't care what anybody say. I don't care if you think I'm racist. You can think whatever you want, but they can't touch me either. I'm sick of them too. Because they really don't mess with us either. Quiet as kept. They just want us to continue to spend money with them. They don't really mess with us like that. Hey, Danielle. They don't really mess with us like that. They only mess with us because we spend a lot of money. So I want y'all to know that. I want y'all to know that. So I'm going to be honest. If I'm on the jury, I'm going to sit up there and I'm going to lie. So if they think that I'm going to lie, just then don't call me, because whenever it's an opportunity, now I'm not talking about, no black person that, they doing crazy stuff, but listen, I'm going to be biased and I'm lying. Y'all, okay? That's what I'm doing. Right. We need to show up. And that is a problem, y'all. Listen, I know, we complain about people going to jail, but we don't show up for jury duty. We don't. We find every reason to get out of it. One thing I did with my children, I made sure they all were registered to vote. That was one thing that I made sure I did with each and every one of them, because when I grew up, nobody never told me about no damn voting. I had to figure that out for myself. So I said I wasn't going to not make sure my kids didn't know you need to register to vote and you need to vote. And we even, this last election, and I did something that I never did before, because I would always vote and then, vote for my person when I got there. But now, because this last election, we were like, because my daughter, she actually went and voted by herself. And she was like, well, some of them people on there, she said that she didn't know who they were. So I was like, oh, shoot, I need to print off the ballot for my sons. Because I was like, we're going to print it off. So now what we do is we print off the ballot, which I never did before. You know that you can print your ballot off and take it with you. Like you literally, now that's one thing that you can take in there. You can't take your phone, but if you print off your ballot, you can, do your research and you bring your, your printed off ballot and you can use it. So that's something that I'm going to do going forward. So yeah, we gotta participate in jury duty, y'all. You have to understand that if you don't set the stage to participate, y'all, people gonna continue to go to prison because there's no representation. Like, I'll just give you an example. A news reporter said, Karmelo said that he, what did she say? He put his hands on me. She doesn't understand Black people jargon. When Karmelo said he put his hands on me, he didn't mean he put his hands on me. So the white journalist said, well, Karmelo admitted that all he did was put his hands on him. And I was like, this is why Black people have to show up for jury duty. Girl, that's not what he meant. When Karmelo said he put his hands on me, he literally mean the boy hit him. That's what that meant. So I was like, so the white lady thought when Karmelo said he put his hands on me, that she thought that he meant that the boy just touched him. These are all things that they don't really understand about our culture. They don't understand our culture. Him saying he put his hands on me, I knew what he meant. He didn't mean he just touched me, but she was like, oh, well, if he, really, if he was so in fear for his life, why did he say he put his hands on? I'm just like, girl, bye. Like they don't understand what we understand as a culture. Right. That was so stupid. But again, if we don't show up to these jury trials, we are putting people in jail. And not to say, that everybody is innocent, but the goal is so that people have a fair trial. Karmelo Anthony did not have a fair trial. Do y'all think if you think Karmelo Anthony had a fair trial, put a 1 in the chat. Right. Well, you said, do they really expect us to believe that corruption is all up and through this trial? Well, here's the deal. I think it is, because they're saying that, well, they've shown pictures of the judge and of the father and of the district attorney. So corruption, yeah, I believe so. But to your other point, his attorney sold him out. He didn't give a crap. Yeah, that part. He didn't give a damn. Now that part is accurate. He didn't give a F-U-C-K, because as I said before, We were surprised. They had already agreed to this. So he took this kid to trial knowing that he really didn't have any evidence because they had suppressed it. Now, y'all get into this. They are saying that these boys had been suspended from school, kicked out of school, done whooped the daddy ass, had a history of violence at school, but none of that was brought into trial. That attorney knew he had an uphill battle months ago. He should have filed for a higher court to look at it, and he didn't do nothing. And just like you said, he didn't give a F-U-C-K about this family. He cared about the money because most attorneys want their money up front. So yeah, he got paid, but he didn't do shit for them. But I do believe, though, there's a level of corruption simply because the news reporters saying that the father was, basically instructing the witnesses what to say by head nods and stuff like that. So I do believe that there's corruption because I do not believe that the judge didn't see that. I don't believe that. And those were one of the things that I identified. Queen Sheba saw it, but then she made an exception for the judge because she said he didn't see it. And that was, I didn't like that because we got to stop making exceptions for these people because they ain't gonna never make no exceptions for us. And even if he didn't see it, it's his responsibility to know what's going on in his courtroom. So who cares that he didn't see it? It's his responsibility. He the judge. And now they're saying that the judge is closely acquainted with these people. We can't keep giving these folks a pass. I believe it. I believe everything that they're saying. If you guys just came in, can you make sure you like the video? I appreciate it. But I don't think we're going to. I'm just checking to see if we got any updates, y'all. We're not going to find out what he was sentenced into. We're not going to find out till later. Because I'm checking and it's not. There's nothing being posted. This is so sad. Now it all makes sense though. Going to court, having court on a Saturday, moving right into the sentencing phase. We need to get his ass up off these streets. If y'all don't think this was a setup, I don't know what was. I don't know what was. I've also read somewhere too that let me look at my notes, that the judge possibly, now I don't know if this is true though, because it said that there was information that he would retire this year and that he would not seek re-election. But we'll see. We'll see. I don't know if he's going to seek re-election, but that is what the information that I found. It said that there was information that he may not seek re-election. But yeah, I thought that was a great question when, you put in the chat about the attorney pretty much sold him out. I believe it. But again, I do believe that there's a level of corruption because as a judge, if you are, something as simple as taking a picture with somebody, that's enough to say, listen, I cannot proceed over this trial. So I think there is a level of corruption. I think that there is. Well, so, okay. So Miss DB said George Zimmerman was a Saturday trial. Okay. But do you feel like this is just what I feel. I feel like they wanted him off the streets ASAP. He was convicted. They done found him guilty. The same day they say, oh, we're going to move to the sentencing phase. They normally don't do that. They normally don't do that. Generally, in these court proceedings, they agree and say, listen, if he's found guilty, when do you guys want to do sentencing? A sentencing, maybe his, first grade teacher want to show up or somebody from his past. They're sentencing him all in the same day. No, Y'all, they trying to get him off the street. This is not about justice. This is about teaching your black ass a lesson that you don't ever put your hands on a cracker. That's what that's about. Seems like they have deliberated longer on the sentencing. Exactly. And when I was telling people, I said, look, them folks, when they came into this, they already knew that they was going to find him guilty. Listen, the judge told them folks that after today that they were going to a hotel. They said, after that, we sending this Negro up the river because we ain't going to no hotel. I ain't never saw no shit like this in my life. Guilty. How y'all find this boy guilty of murder? How? I mean, I would have maybe, you know, if you were going to say guilty, maybe manslaughter, but murder? They ain't give a F. They didn't give a F-U-C-K about this kid. They went ahead and convicted him, and the judge said, we're moving right into the sentencing phase. What? Huh? My heart goes out to the family. If you guys can, as you saw, and I showed you all, they are still donating to their GoFundMe. Well, it's not a GoFundMe. It's a 𝐬𝐮𝐿. And after I get off here, I'm going to donate. So let's keep this family lifted in prayer, because I will be praying, because this goes out. I mean, listen, I have sons. I got 2 sons. Okay. So this hurts my heart tremendously. Karmelo is what we want our sons to be. Good grades, athlete. He was going to college. This is bad, y'all. This ain't good. This boy made a mistake. He felt like his life was in danger. Who are you, me, to tell somebody when their life is in danger? I done told y'all that when I was 20, somebody tried to jump me and I tried to send them to see Jesus. I just told you that. I just told you that. I tried to send that hoe to see the Lord. Luckily, God was like, nah, I don't want you to go to jail. Okay, so we gonna let this hoe live. But when people are young, they make bad decisions. This is a 17-year-old boy. Yeah, with 2 jobs. Never been in jail. Never had any run-in with the law. But we got 2 bullies who probably got some fentanyl. They need to probably check them for fentanyl. You know, they said George Floyd didn't really die from being choked. It was fentanyl. They should check him for fentanyl. Maybe he died from fentanyl. And that's another thing too. Why didn't his defense should have did a separate autopsy, because they was allegedly saying them boys was on drugs. We don't really know. I mean, I don't know. But at the end of the day, this kid is what we want our sons to be. I've been to jail. None of my kids been to jail. You see what I'm saying? Now, I might go back to jail if you fuck with me, okay? Lord, don't let me have to go back to jail. But at the end of the day, we don't want our kids in jail. You see what I'm saying? We don't want that. We want kids that are doing the right thing. This boy was doing the right thing. He ain't no thug. Them Metcalf boys was fucking thugs. Whooping they father ass. What? They said the Metcalf boy done broke their father arm and was whooping on his ass. Karmelo felt like he needed to save his life. And y'all know what? If they would have killed that boy, they wouldn't have been charged. They would have said something else happened. No charges. He felt like he needed to protect his life. Who are we to say, oh, somebody pushed you? We wasn't there. We wasn't there. We don't really know who had the knife. They're saying now that it could have been one of them. So imagine somebody like, because what they're saying is they surrounded him. That's what they're saying happened on the real video. This is what they're saying. So imagine somebody surrounded you and they knife fell and you picked it up. We don't know. They railroaded him. They set him up right after being convicted. The judge say, "Oh, we finna sentence him today." That's not how it works, guys. That is not how it works. You gave this family no time to even take into consideration that their son is now getting ready to go to prison. They treated this family like animals. I don't know if y'all forgot, but I haven't. They had to move several times. There was video, several TikToks where these people was going to their home, delivering food, just doing all kind of stuff to them. And we saw it in this particular county with the reporters. I know y'all know, this actually made the blogs with Neek at Night, with her basically saying that she had been targeted by these racist individuals, which I believe everything she's saying. I believe everything she's saying. So y'all got to know that the racism there is live and well. It's there. Karmelo Anthony was not convicted for any other reason other than his Black skin. Oh, wait, y'all, I got something I want to show y'all. We got a little update here. Just give me a second.
Not one Black soul on a jury. An all white jury convicted him in 2 to 3 hours. We know that they did not prove their case. They are currently sentencing Karmelo Anthony, but we know that the Next Generation Action Network put the first $10,000 towards an appellate attorney. And we will fight Collin County like hell. I respected this process.
I don't know why you did.
I allowed and called for peace in this process.
Fuck it up.
But Black America should be very upset about what went on today. Now, before all of the internet lawyers and before all of the interpretation of the situation, leader, I'm not an attorney. I can only help families be able to navigate these processes when they find themselves in this type of situation. I can only allow lawyers to be what they are, lawyers. I can't instruct them. I can't stop them from doing anything. I have to respect the process just like anybody else. But what we saw today was flawed, unjust, and I ask that the community continue to pray for the Anthony family. I do not speak for them, but I know that the Next Generation Action Network will be here as support. My heart hurts right now because an ignorance of the law was done here today. Clear. We posted the jury instructions. And right now, what we are seeing is a travesty. It lets us that Black lives do not matter in the criminal justice system. It lets us know that we are not going to be afforded the same laws as anybody else. And I give a damn about nobody that feels like I'm playing the race card here. For 400 years, our people have been at the liberty and have had to suffer at the liberty of these laws. I'm speaking facts because that blood of slavery is in my blood, not your blood. And it's not for you to look at me and say, I'm playing the race card. I'm just a Black man living in America. The fact supports that. You say I'm upset? Hell yeah, I'm upset. I respected this process, but we're going to fight like hell to make sure that Collin County know that Karmelo Anthony is not going to go away. I want to thank all of the people who traveled across this country, to all of the medias, community supporters, and people who have taken Karmelo Anthony as their own baby. I salute you. I thank you. And we got work to do. Thank you and God bless.
All right, Connell. So you heard that. He's representing, at least speaking for the Anthony family, Connell.
Rap House TV. It showed very clearly that a black boy was allowed, not one black soul on a jury. An all white jury convicted him in 2 to 3 hours. We know that they did not prove their case. They are currently sentencing Karmelo Anthony, but we know that the Next Generation Action Network put the first $10,000 towards an appellate attorney. And we will fight Colin.
So guys, yeah, I ain't never in my life. Now I watch trials all the time. They are sentencing this kid now. Do that not send a message? We want to get his ass off to prison today. Y'all, this shit ain't right. This ain't right. How was justice served? I'm telling you, that's why I don't trust people. This is why I don't trust people. I was like, hey, let's watch this thing play out. But in these last few days, I said something is just off. Something is just off. Wait a minute. Where is the attorney? Now, some people said in the chat, where has he been? That man is not an attorney. He has an advocacy company or something that connects families with resources. So where is the attorney? He's somewhere hiding with his jazz. He's somewhere hiding. He sold his kid out with his jazz. This is so very sad. This is just, man. A rigged ass trial. Okay, listen, y'all, let's look at this one. This is a post that he put on social media. I'm about to read it. Somebody said, wait a minute. Somebody said that brother talking is suspicious. He married to a white woman. Lord. Well, hey, I don't care who people marry. Like, that's his choice. Listen, I ain't marrying one, but I'm just saying if that's what they like, I ain't mad at them. Hey, that's their choice. I would rather him marry a white woman than marry a black one and unalive her. Go ahead and marry who you like. I will not debate this case with internet commentators or lawyers trying to litigate it on social media. People keep asking whether I believe the state has proven its case. My answer is simple no. Based on everything I have seen and heard, I do not believe the prosecution has proved the level of intent required for a capital murder conviction under Texas law. This case must be decided by the law, not emotion, politics, public pressure, or social media narratives. I am not a lawyer, nor do I speak for Karmelo Anthony's legal team. I am simply sharing my perspective based on what I have witnessed throughout this process. As a leader, I know we have done everything within our power to ensure Karmelo received a fair trial and the strongest opportunity for a defense. To those who support him, stay patient, stay focused, and don't allow social media to shake your faith. Whew. Um, all right, let me people text me and they know I'm on live. Stop texting my phone where you get blocked. All right, let me stop sharing this. So I'm still man, that motherfucker sold him out. Where he at? Where he at? Where the attorney at? Because he know what he did. He knows what he did. Man, you can't trust no damn. Just because a person is an attorney don't mean you can trust them. I don't give attorneys money up front. I mean, if you want me to give you all the money up front, you're not representing me. Yeah, I don't want you to represent me. Look, this is how you know it was about race. See, us as Black people, we're so used to things happening to us that we don't say, so we're so, what is the word I'm looking for? We're kind of used to trauma and traumatizing things. So I don't think we look at it from the perspective of he was white or he deserved it or something like that. I don't think we look at things from that perspective, but we do look at it from this perspective. It happens to Black people. So if it happened to Black people, we ain't crying for y'all because this happened to us every day. Okay. It happens to us every day. So unfortunately, I can't shed a tear. If I'm going to shed a tear for you, then I should have been shedding tears for all of the Black ones that died. So unfortunately, I don't feel sorry for him. I'm just going to say how the fuck I feel. I don't feel sorry for him. We just had a 14-year-old that was unalive 3 years ago. And the list goes on and on and on. Every time a Black person is unalived or their life is taken, nobody seems to care. So you think I'm finna shed a tear? Hell fucking no. Absolutely no.
We ask that we will not lean on our own understanding, but lean on yours.
Come get delivered. The table is spread. We invite you to come sup with us. We're going to pray for these families because they both lost.
Somebody said, why isn't he giving an interview? Well, I mean, because he's a scam artist. I mean, listen, we're not attorneys, but we know when shit ain't right. You were a horrible lawyer. The way that you represented this family, you really need your ass whooped. I'm just gonna be you need your ass whooped. I'm just saying, because what you did was so wrong. Like, you should have just told them, I can't represent you. Like, what you did was low down and dirty. And I mean, in all honesty, y'all, we gotta blame the lawyer. Like the lawyer, you know, there was so much that he could have did that he didn't do. Whew. That lawyer, he need a good old-fashioned whooping. I'm telling you, like, you did some low down. Whew. I'm just hoping, you know, that this, ooh. Now listen to this. This is how you know that they watch social media. Do y'all remember there was with Meek at Night, she had stated in her video that the people in the court are watching social media. I don't know if y'all saw that video, but anywho, she did a video and she had said that this lady who was harassing her at court, she said that this lady was putting all of this stuff on her social media. She said, but the people who are in the court, they're watching social media. She said, so they're watching social media. So they see that she is harassing her. Like they can see the lady's social media. Now, guess what they're going to do? They're going to make a statement saying that that picture that's on social media, that it ain't the judge. Y'all want to see what they said? Let's see what they said. So they watch social media. So what Neek said was absolutely correct. Look at what they said. I don't know. I mean, all y'all motherfuckers do is lie. So let's see. So they watch social media because they wanted to make sure that they were, you know, making sure that they were moving their narrative in the right direction. It says there has been confusion circulating online regarding the identity of the judge presiding over the Karmelo Anthony case. They look like the same people to me. I mean, what are you saying? So let's see what they say. For the record, the photos on the left are of Judge Roach, the elected judge assigned to the case. The photograph on the right is of a different individual and not Judge Roach. As advocates for truth, transparent, oh, y'all, I'm not even reading that because we know this court is not an advocate for what's true. So they're saying that that isn't the judge. We don't want to hear no more because we don't believe you. Sis, keep pushing truth. Why didn't the family really do some research on snakes they let around them? They want us to riot, but Karmelo needs to stand tall till God work it out. Well, you say, so let's just be honest. Don't say that because you can't expect for somebody to have experience that you have. If they have never had experience with a lawyer, then they wouldn't know. You know, I don't know. I just know that some lawyers ain't shit. And because I had to use them, I know that they'll steal your money. I just had a lawyer steal my money not that long ago and didn't do nothing. This is what they do. So I wouldn't like, I don't like that negative shit that you putting in it. Like, why you say this? Tell God to work it out. Why you here? You negative. Are you unhappy in your life? Like, what is that to say? Why don't you stand tall and let God work it out for you? Because you say, I'm finna put you up out of here. I don't like you. Get up out of here. You negative. You're negative and you're not nice. Get up out my chat. If you don't support the family, you're at the wrong place. Go somewhere else. Don't come in here talking negatively about a family who has seen, I mean, they have done the best that they can. They've raised their son. He graduated. You do realize that Karmelo was kicked out of school for like a month. This goes to show how that boy grades were just outstanding. He still graduated with a 3.7 being kicked out of school. So don't come in here being negative talking about the family because you're miserable in your life. Like you can't say, why didn't the parents investigate the attorney? You have to understand those people that moved more times in the last year than they probably can keep up with their address. And then you want to condemn them. First of all, do you got children? What's your children's GPA? Have your kids ever been to jail? Why you want to judge somebody? Judge yourself. Their son has a damn near perfect GPA, worked 2 jobs, played sports, and you want to come in here and condemn somebody. Go to hell, okay? Go straight to hell. You mean and you're probably ugly in real life. That's not nice. I'm just saying, is there anything else on here, y'all? Because we we've been on here almost 4 hours. I was trying to stay on here to see if anything was going to come up, you know, with regards to like how long he's been sentenced, but yeah, we may not be able to see that. I mean, or a little bit, I don't know, a little bit later, because nothing is coming up as of now. Yeah, I don't see anything. So y'all, I'm going to probably jump off here because like I said, I was trying to wait to see if we were going to get. Oh, y'all, look at this one before we get off. This is funny. Let's watch this one really quick. And then we're going to jump off because like I said, I wanted to see how much time he got, but I thought this was funny. Look at this shit right here.
Watch happening now is because the defendant is black, the victim is white, and that's the bottom line. But again, this is what I alluded to when I said this has brought out what's bubbling right beneath the surface. The judge as well in this case said it was not a case about race, but you cannot deny that just the facts of the case and what we've seen play out since then and what.
See, I would have never been able to go to that. This is too much. Yes, he most definitely is going to get an appeal. Y'all, I'm about to jump out off here because I'm about to donate my little $200. Listen, y'all donate to the family. I mean, we're not in Texas. I mean, one of the things you can do, you probably got $50 or you might got $20. I don't know what you have or what your financial situation is like, but send that family some cash. You know, they're going to need it. If y'all look at this here, as I was saying, you know, people are donating what they can. Some people donate 25, 10, 100. All this money adds up. You know, they have given this attorney, I don't know what they have paid this attorney, but I must say a whole bunch. I know they probably done gave him at least $300,000 or $400,000. So let's continue to support them. If you got $20, $30, whatever you can give, go ahead and give. Listen, 20, 30, 40, whatever you got is going to be able to help them. But let's wrap up here with this particular video. You know, once they decide on, you know, what he gonna be sentenced to, we can come back and talk about it. But I feel confident that they're going to be able to get an appeal. Like I said, I'm going to be looking to see who the new attorney is because I want to make sure I send that attorney the email that I sent to this last stupid attorney. And I'm going to do a video about that to show y'all what I sent to the attorney, letting him know that there are reporters that said that the Metcalf father was leading the witness and he didn't do shit. He didn't do nothing. Absolutely nothing. So I will check y'all in the next video. Do me a favor, y'all. Make sure y'all hype up the video when you leave. Hype up the video. But before you leave, like right now, I really need y'all to go ahead and like the video.
Spilling tea, no sugar, no fear. They talk loud, but I'm still here. Lakeysha Keysha, say it clear. Real talk lives right here. Spilling tea, no sugar, no fear. I'm still here, no fear, but I'm still here. Lakeysha Keysha, say it clear. Real talk lives right here. Stretch words like They talk loud, but I'm still here. Lakeysha Keysha, say it clear. Real talk lives right here. Yeah. Spilling tea, no sugar, no fear. I'm still here, no fear, but I'm still here. Lakeysha Keysha, say it clear. Real talk lives right here. Stretch words like